right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch us, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part, so make sure you're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to TheIndianJesus.com for your very own official merch. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got all kinds of stuff at TheIndianJesus.com. Guys, we do also have a Discord server that is absolutely free to join. 24/7, we are in there hanging out, having a good time. It is a great place to meet new people and have interesting conversations. And like I said, it's absolutely free to join. Morty is there too. Come on out. No, not yet. Okay, fine. And again, it is absolutely free. However, if you join this channel on here as a YouTube member, you can scroll right below the video here, hit that join button. A few different tiers here, but it starts at just $2.99 a month. Gets you members only live streams here on YouTube and all that other good stuff. But the biggest thing is that it opens up the full Discord server, guys. So that includes not just the free chat, but other channels as well, including our voice channel. So as soon as we are done here, we are headed over there for an after party where we don't have to worry about any YouTube censors, and you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a good time. Definitely come and join us. Shout out to Nick Luchetti in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. So this is gonna be an interesting one. So for a long time, I've talked about how I think the Black community, as you can see in the title, is destroying Black Americans. I feel like this ingrained allegiance to other Black people because of the fact that they're Black helps keep Black people not doing well. You'll have an upstanding citizen who feels like they have kinship with some random dude who's committing crimes across the country because they're Black. And I feel like that's silly, but that's not an easy conversation to have. And even like if I was white, I wouldn't even attempt it. But being a brownie, I feel like I could say a few more things. But Tim Pool, also white and mixed, brought in two Black gentlemen, excuse me, I'm forgetting their names. They are King Randall and Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter for a very interesting conversation. So if I don't cancel, as always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
So did you guys ever see that? I think it was a Smithsonian graphic about white supremacy. And then it showed a bunch of little pictures of white people around things that they do. And it said being on time, planning for the future, even keeping a schedule was white supremacy.
100% white supremacy.
Hey, white folks doing what they need to do.
Right. Yeah, because Asian people don't do any of that. Black people don't do it. Mexicans, nobody has a concept of time except for white people, apparently.
Definitely not the Indians, not the Mayans.
I think the white people
Definitely not. Indian people don't know nothing about time.
got better marketing, man.
Yeah, the Mayans didn't have any concept of time at all. They didn't calculate well far to the future, anything like that. So the provocative and evocative title, Black Supremacy, rebuilding the Black family and the community. You guys want to introduce yourself and tell me what it's all about?
Before we get that, let's shout out Guam Tech. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you guys. If you have not already, please do hit that like button on your way in, and let's do this.
Yeah, sure. I'm King Randall, founder of the X for Boys program. I work with kids in the Black community mainly, but I work with all color children. I'm in Albany, Georgia. But yeah, Black supremacy. I think if we actually take hold to that and stop worrying about what white people are doing, I think we could actually take back our communities. So
right, 100%. Maj Toure, founder of Black Guns Matter, Solutionary Lifestyle, Black supremacist. It's funny that you say it this way, man, because like when you unfold it and unravel it, this concept that like excellence and or scheduling and time and science and math is the monopoly of one group of people is the wildest concept ever. So
indeed. And shout out to Calls Frosted Tips. Welcome to the party. Starting us on the swole goal. That's one right there. Thank you. So very much. Did I mess that up? What happened here? 20 swole? No. Oh. What was the? Oh, they're teal or high. This is teal. No. Why is this not counting? All right. Well, we count it. We got it. Shout out, and welcome. We also got Behave. Welcome. Said, I'm so over racism. Americans are being groomed for all sorts of things. Segregation is the cornerstone of it. We are segregated through class, race, gender, etc. We are groomed to go after one another. Yep, you got it. Shout out to M169. Welcome to the party. A fan of King Randall. And yep, Black Guns Matter is his organization. He says the media has been lying to them for so long, they don't realize most people don't care about color or anything like that. I'm so glad to see people starting to see through the lies. And exactly, that's the point. It's not that there's no racism. It's just that the amount of people who focus on that stuff are either perpetually victims of it, or people who are, you know, like just really out there that most of us would be like, hey, yo, that's not cool.
Yeah, I'm proud. I think that's a new thing. I think we should make shirts and raise funds off of the shirts, Black supremacists, and then get a whole gang of white people to wear the Black supremacist.
I think white people would support it because most of the stuff that we fuss at them about being good at, we should be good at too.
Right.
Like being on time, taking care of your family, actually being there for your kid. You know, like most
you know what it is?
It's just the marketing, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Hold up. I messed up. I screwed up the goal. Well, we leaving it now.
I actually think
so. I meant to put it for $2 and up, but it is $5 and up. So usually we get there anyway. So I'll leave it to you guys.
It's what the vast majority of all people do. But I don't know. Once you get on the leftist side of the media conversation, they put it like a slant on it that I just they just good at propaganda.
Yeah,
that's just the reality.
You got to be good at propaganda to make your stuff work. So
yeah,
that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. Propaganda. Semantic obfuscation, whatever way you want to put it, using the words in such a way to make people believe what you want them to believe, regardless of whether it ties to reality. Exactly. Classism is the problem.
So I'm pulling up the photo actually, because we didn't actually talk about it before.
Really quick, guys. I am so mad. I forgot that I ran out of my drink and I only had one left. I usually only go through like 2 or so per show. But this is mostly dilution now so that I don't run out. I'm mad.
Yeah, but you guys made me think of it.
Yeah.
When because it's a classic. But how about before we get started? I mean, King Randall, you had a viral video recently. Elon Musk was shouting you out. You want to just break that down, and then we'll jump over to this absurdity?
Yeah, so I did a experiment, and this experiment consisted of me saying on one video that I was going to vote for Kamala Harris, and the other video I was going to vote for Donald Trump. Now, my following, I call it rainbow because you can't not like what we're doing with kids. So we have a plethora of Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Mexican, white, whatever. And so I shared this video just to see what the reactions would be, because most Black people or just people on the left side will claim that, you know, Trump supporters are this and that. Not saying that there aren't bad Trump supporters or hateful people, but this video that I made saying I was going to vote for Kamala Harris, most of the Trump supporters that support me were like, well, that's okay. We're going to still support what you're doing. You know, maybe you'll come around one day, but we still love the work you're doing for kids. The video I said I was going to vote for Donald Trump, I lost like 3,000 followers. They was all in my inbox calling me all types of names. I have no business working with kids, and I hate Black people. I'm not for the people, etc., all because of a politician. I've explained to people before that politicians really, well, I guess federal politicians have nothing to do with your regular community, your everyday community. Nope. My big thing is working in your local politics. Like I just got appointed to 3 boards in our local hometown, but these boards are important because they actually make things happen that you see every day. Right. So people are out voting for president and fussing about the president and don't even know who your mayor is. Right. Have no.
And I think that's an important point, but also the fact is that they do think that. So you do have to meet them there, which is kind of why I like to not necessarily be too, high-minded and stick with the cultural stuff. Shout out to Not VLT. Welcome.
No idea what ward you live in, who your city commissioner is, who to call when something happens, etc. So we're doing all this fussing about the presidency, which they're making us do on purpose, of course, because they're controlling the minds of the people through social media. But we've lost our minds about our actual local community, and we've forgotten about going to pick up trash on the side of the road, or the kid next door that needs to learn how to read, or people that you could help in your area around you. But we fussing about the president, like telling our friends we don't want to talk to them no more, unfollowing people, etc. I don't care what kind of work you're doing. You like Trump or you vote for Trump, like, dude, it's a politician, man. But we worshiping politicians now, and I think we've lost our minds. So Elon shared the video and gathered us a lot of support with that. Of course, a lot of hate too. We get hate because, we hate Elon. He don't like Black people. He just sharing it just for optics. I'm like, well, these optics have helped these Black kids in this majority Black town. So why y'all running y'all mouth about how
True. Do you care about helping or do you care about winning?
a white man supporting a black organization, he's apparently racist. I'm like, well, he just helped these kids with all this stuff that we needed for these kids. We've given these parents laundry detergent, underwear, shirts. We got new printers. We got pencils.
So racist.
Calculators, etc. Like all this stuff that they've sent to support our organization that's going to black kids. I'm like, so are you happy or sad? Like, do you want the kids helped or not? And I don't care how the help gets here. So
it just goes to show how racist they are, and that they look at people based on their skin color, because of course Elon, he's an African American.
Right.
Hey man, black people can't be racist. We understand it already. Well, black people are we are not racist. We can't be racist apparently because we have no way to affect the power structure behind hurting white people. That's the idea. We can't.
Obviously. So, I mean, obviously because of the fact that I'm not black and they are black, I want to kind of give them the floor mostly. But I feel like this is important, and I appreciate Tim for doing this because this conversation needs to be had, and it's so electric that people don't feel like they can talk about it. We remember that that man on the street interview. It's slightly different, but it was about the trans stuff, where the girl, the interview was like, "How many genders are there?" And there was 2 girls, and one girl was like 2, and the other girl was like, "Shh, no, don't, just we, anybody can be anything, bye." And it's like the fact of the matter is, like, we have to be able to be comfortable with this conversation before we can have the conversation. Shout out to Carl. Thank you so very, very much, sir. You have a good night's sleep. Like I said, I know of a couple people up in this community that care about winning. Fortunately, most care about helping. Yep. And it's always the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Can't be racist because we're not in power, quote unquote.
See, but that's really the psyop, because it's still. I can be racist. I could be whatever I want to be.
Yep.
You're trying to, like, low key, like on a subtle level, steal somebody's agency to say only this group of people can have a monopoly or produce this particular thing.
Yep.
Even if it's right, wrong, left, it doesn't matter. If I get to say you are never going to be that empowered to be in a space where you could stop somebody from having any type of movement, you in essence trying to psychologically trick me into believing I don't have a certain level of autonomy.
How have we like this? That's another point. When as soon as I heard this, like I listened further into again to make sure that we got something good to cover. But when I heard that, I was like, oh, we covering this, because I've obviously thought about that before, but I've never heard it articulated. Oh, it's a black man and he said articulate. Oh my God. I've never heard it articulated that way. That by saying black people can't be racist. So wait, you're saying that just because of my skin color, there's something that I can't do? Sounds like racism. And said, and welcome to the party. Said, and how is that any different than worshiping celebrities? What? What's different than worshiping celebrities? I couldn't even name a favorite celebrity because I never had one. Idolatry, whether religious or not, is stupid. Well, agree with that. Carl says that racism jokes are the best jokes. Typically, yep, Am's got you there too. But exactly the point is that the more we can joke about it, the less of a real problem it is. Because if it was a real problem, then we wouldn't be able to joke about it. But the jokes are damn funny. Let's do that again.
Are never going to be that empowered to be in a space where you could stop somebody from having any type of movement. You in essence trying to psychologically trick me into believing I don't have a certain level of autonomy.
That's crazy. If to break that down, what the left is saying when they say black people can't be racist, and then you ask them, what does that mean? It says, well, racism is prejudice plus power.
Right.
They're basically saying
you're powerless, Blackie.
It is impossible for black people to have power.
Right.
You're not smart enough. You're not smart enough. Right. You're not good enough. You're too weak. You're too stupid. They don't believe you're capable of it. So black people, we can't be racist, blah, 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 blah. We don't have no power. I know black mayors. I know black councilmen. Right.
We had a black president.
What was he doing? Is that not power? So again, I believe we have much capability of being powerful, but if you keep convincing people that we have none and relying on politicians, etc., and could keep telling us, well, white people are the reason for everything that's happening right now. Sure, racism has played a part in,
So are all the black people going to say that he's wrong and terrible? Shout out to Sarah Marie. Welcome to the party. Good to see you.
Different things that are happening now, but at the same time, we are destroying our own community, in my opinion. Like, we have a building out in the projects right now. I have to keep the gates locked. I have to do all this stuff that we're helping black kids in this neighborhood. But ask me what, they won't stop busting out the glass. We put a new basketball court out there for the kids. They put foam board all over it. They leave trash everywhere, etc., etc. Ain't no white people coming to bust the glass out the basketball goals. Ain't no white people leaving all the trash out there in the neighborhood. There, we come out, there's beer bottles everywhere, etc. We won't take care of our own stuff. And then we like to say, oh, well, white people, they like to be slumlords to black people. When are you not a slumlord in the black community, to be frank? Because every time I go to the black community, we don't take care of our own stuff.
I think it's twofold to that.
I'm not saying it. He is saying it. Shout out to Carl's Frosted Tips again. Said, I own several colored TVs. Well, thank you for that one. The best kind of TVs, right? The best kind of TVs. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Out sponsoring yourself. Very much appreciated. And said, I understand if there's a skill that's admired, like in Bruce Lee, but I don't think being a good liar is an admirable characteristic. Entertaining, sure. Where's this coming from? Was there this is the first thing I saw you say. Were you responding to someone else, or what? I'm just asking. But thank you again, sir. Cause a frosted tip.
Black community, to be frank, because every time I go to the black community, we don't take care of our own stuff.
I think it's twofold to that, though. I'm gonna give you some pushback.
Go ahead.
I believe, like, if I want to serve somebody drugs and not get caught, I serve them third person, right? I believe that this is where extreme leftists kind of got a nugget of truth. If a system has been created to make people respond a certain way, and that system that's been created and indoctrinated and forced people into the system, right? There becomes a generational ignorance, and the actions and deeds because of that start to manifest in, I wasn't there selling the drugs, but it's my work, right? So if I create, it's like there's a book called, what's the name of this book? I forget the name of it. But anyway, it talks about how the financial structure as it relates to real estate with redlining and all of that. It speaks to, there were things put in place that even if you got financing and this is back in the day, you could not sell the color of law. I think that's what it is. The color of law. You could not sell, rent, or lease houses in these complexes to black people because one of the biggest ways of generational wealth is home ownership.
Right.
So the people that don't think about home ownership, that have been told to not think about home ownership because there was a system in place that said, even if I'm the cool white dude that got the financing to build a suburban enclave, I can't sell it to you. That level of racism, and it happened to be white people doing that, that exists. Now, when you trickle down to a point where it's however many generations later, and that group of people don't think about home ownership, I can't leave out that systemic part that created that over time. This does not absolve the person of their individual way.
And I think that's totally fair. That's absolutely true. Racism is baked into American culture. I don't think we need to deny that. But to act as if today, you as an individual colored person or a woman or this or that, it's so drastically different than everybody else. That's just cope.
Whatever. But like, I think it's real crafty to the point of being able to say you can't be racist, almost like selling to me this concept. But it's so devious and dastardly because it's invisible. It's almost invisible.
It is.
You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
It's hard to unsee it. Once you hear him say it like that, like, oh, you're saying black people inherently are devoid of power. That's so racist.
You know what I mean?
Let me pull up this thing. This was I think the Smithsonian had this. This is hilarious. Talking about race. And as I'm reading this, I'm like, was this thing made by white supremacists to convince black people and minorities to not improve their lives or something? Like, this is really weird. It says aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. White dominant culture or whiteness refers to the ways white people and their traditions, attitudes, and ways of life have been normalized over time and are now considered standard practices in the United States. And since white people still hold most of the institutional power in America, we have all internalized some aspects of white culture, including people of color. Well, let's say
projection. This has got to be one of the biggest examples of projection in culture in the last 50 years.
a look at what they think white culture is. Rugged individualism. So if you're a libertarian, you're a white supremacist. It's white. It doesn't say white supremacy. It says whiteness.
Yeah.
So of course there can be no Latino, Asian, Black, Indian libertarians. The individual is the primary unit. Self-reliance, independence, and autonomy highly valued and
What do I mean? It's baked into our culture. Like we had slavery, we had redlining, we had civil rights. All that stuff is part of American history, is it not?
rewarded. Individuals assume to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. Now, okay, fine. Make arguments about collectivism versus whatever you want, but the next one's hilarious. The nuclear family. Father, mother, 2.3 children is the ideal social unit.
How dare you?
The husband is the breadwinner and head of the household. Wife is homemaker and subordinate to the husband. Children should have own rooms and be independent. Yeah, it's kind of
terrible
because
how do white people live this way? How do people live this way? Yeah, exactly. Slavery is part of human history, and humans live in America, and America is a country for other humans. Therefore, slavery is a part of, and racism is a part of our human history.
It's not even about like minorities in the United States. You can go to India, you can go to Asia. There are people who aren't white that have families. Right. Sorry, like everybody on the planet had families. And this is the ideology that they've been pushing. Now, I do think it's largely crushed. This was hugely embarrassing to them. And then Donald Trump ends up winning and the Republicans get a big sweep just a couple of weeks ago. But look at this. Objective, rational, linear thinking, cause and effect relationships.
Bro, that's not real. That's not real. There's no way that this is real.
I can't be. Is this literal
it's
human
real
stuff?
Cause and effect relationships. If you realize
you couldn't make this up. You could not make this up. I mean, what else can you say?
When the sun comes up and then the water comes down, the plants grow. White supremacy.
Man, you know what? The only reason I know this is real.
So slavery isn't inherently racism because all races have enslaved their own race. In America, there was never I mean, I'm sure there were white slaves and black slave owners. I don't fucking know, but the overwhelming majority was white slave owners and black slaves. I'm not saying anything controversial here, guys. I'm not like, what are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. Slavery is yeah, exactly. There's slavery, but not the slavery they want to be real. What do you mean? Because to the way the left talk about black people make them sound inferior. Bingo. I can't believe they get away with it. Shaking my head in disgust. It's cult-like thinking. Bingo. Exactly. Carl, welcome to the party. Said racism is the root of a lot of great comedy. The world will be boring without it. Also, it's our ability to rip into each other as groups that keeps any one group from getting too full of themselves. Well, and right, but we have to understand that the reason this, I'm using the word need loosely, but the reason that this needs to be said about racism is because that's already accepted when we talk about groups of people. It's only the grouping of racism that they, and more recently your gender identity, that they've determined are the taboo groups. That's the point here. It's not that racism creates so many great jokes. It's that disparity creates great jokes, and there's disparity between the races. That doesn't mean that they're worse or better. They're just different, and difference is funny.
Stuff and I know you're not his biggest fan. I'm not necessarily either, but I watched the documentary Matt Walsh did just to see what it was about. It's actual classes that people are paying for to decenter their whiteness.
Oh, like, we synced it. And of course, in case you guys forgot, I am DEI certified. So everything I say, if you don't agree with me, then you're a Nazi.
They're truly at fault for being white. So they are taking classes to help themselves be less internally racist, because they like, well, you may not be racist on the surface. This is black lady teaching the class. Like, you may not be racist on the surface, but you might not know that you're internally racist. You're not paying any attention. So they're paying for classes to become less white. I don't get it.
I just want to real quick show you the proof. Okay, this is the Miami Herald 2020. Smithsonian Museum apologizes for saying hard work and rational thought is white culture. They had to apologize over this.
All right.
That's crazy, man.
So let them white people that do that, absolutely. Keep spending the money to anybody that, if you want to relieve yourself of your guilt, cool. Cool.
I mean, hey, we don't have a problem with people paying dominatrix to step on their balls, right? Like most of us wouldn't want to do that. But if you want to spend your money doing that, go for it.
You know what else you could do? You could go to xforboys.com and you could donate to the work that King Randall is doing to exercise some of these demons of racism.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, this is the crazy thing. You're completely correct, but then they end up giving their money to like BLM so they can buy big houses.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's not good. xforboys.com. And I don't even really super feel comfortable with that URL to begin with. I probably would have workshopped that a little bit, but I'm going to assume they do good work. Is there anything? Let's try YouTube. I'm still a little scared of this. X4Boys. What was his name? King Randall? Randall? Was it? King Randall. Let's see what we got. Thank you again, Carl, our stream sponsor so far. Thank you.
Let us make man. This is the scripture where God was talking about creating the human. And when he talked about creating the human, he said, let us make man. And for me, the us in let us make man
was Jason.
Tells and implies to me that I should be assisting God with making men. And this is where the X for Boys comes into play. This is the new man-making machine in Albany, Georgia. We started the X for Boys program in January of 2019.
Careful what you wish for, girl.
Albany, Georgia is one of the poorest cities in the nation. And also Albany, Georgia has one of the highest crime rates in the nation. And so I took it upon myself to curb that by working with young men and boys in the community and teaching them how to work in the skilled trades, such as working on cars, fixing houses, simple home.
Yeah, I mean, a very good point to exactly what I was saying before, that slavery and racism are very different things. Just because the transatlantic slave trade with specifically African, that whole thing doesn't exist. You're absolutely right, Am. As Dr. Phil, among many others, have verified with the CBP, there's tons of slavery. You are very, very correct.
Working the skilled trades, such as working on cars, fixing houses, simple home improvement, simple brake repair, oil changes, plumbing, anything of that.
Bro, The Ultimatum, another one of these Netflix reality dating shows just started, and it's couples it's 6 couples that come in that like one wants to get married and one doesn't, and they give them the ultimatum, and then they switch partners with somebody. So like it's the 6 couples, and then they're 12 individuals, and then they re-pair up and all that stuff. And it's funny because there's this older artistic white dude who is with a younger white girl and ended up with a black girl or a black guy, and only 5 episodes are out so far, but it's not looking good for Mr. Artist. Am I familiar with no, I don't even know how to say that. Nick said, I've always wondered if America is supposed to be so racist and sexist. How is Oprah Winfrey the richest woman? I can't even come up with an ironic joke for that. And real quick, is it just me, or is the font different on like the comments, the banner? Is that a little different? I feel like it doesn't always look like that. I could be crazy. I don't know, but let me know. I haven't had enough to drink today, and TikTok was up my all right, we're moving on.
Nature to try and help boys actually use their hands.
I appreciate King Randall for taking the time out of his life to give us young men the opportunity to.
Before I go, can we donate to buy better? I don't know why that went over my head, because that is one of the most annoying things, and it absolutely is a black person thing, and it is a white girl who dates black guys thing. I don't know why. And I don't know how y'all fucking do it. I don't know how y'all do it. Hell no. I mean, if you want to buy them batteries, buy them batteries. But I mean, y'all all smoking anyway. What do you need the fire? What do you need the smoke detector for? You're not listening to it anyway. If it went off, you wouldn't be able to hear it. Come on, man. All right, we see what they're doing here. Like kind of a Oh, what is this? Let's see what.
Showing the power of positive influence. That's the mission of one impressive young man from Georgia. King Randall started his organization, the X for Boys, in 2019 in an effort to reform the minds of young men and steer them away from a life of crime. Now the group has undertaken a new project, buying 40 acres of land in Albany, Georgia, to build a charter school.
Aren't we all?
Joining me now is King Randall. Obviously, I'm so proud of you for all that you're doing. You said in your video, a lot of people are waiting for the 40 acres. You decided to just
Wendy's. What happened with Wendy's? I'm not familiar with Wendy's slavery.
take it.
Absolutely. I decided to go take it because I want to eradicate all the excuses that our so-called Black leaders have used to dupe our people into thinking that we can't go do for self in our communities. I believe that our children need to see possible, especially where we live in the city of Albany. Our children don't get to see possible. So I decided to go start an organization at the age of 19 to show other young men that you could actually go do something for yourself in your community and not have to wait.
Bro, I haven't had a working smoke detector in my house in years.
For anybody to do it for you.
A modern day Booker T. Washington is what I call you.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people talk about, doing the work in the community, what we should do, but you're in the community teaching these young men these values, conservative values. This is something that you grew up with.
Absolutely. I had many male figures in my life, my grandfather, my former stepfather, many men around the neighborhood. And a lot of people are always asking, well, King, how are you 21 and you know all these things? Or you're 21, you shouldn't know this, that, and the third. And I'm just telling them, well, if you have male figures in your life, you'll learn these things quite early and it shouldn't be surprising. But I understand that it's surprising because we have a lack of father figures in our neighborhood, especially where I live. Considering that over 90% of the children that I work with don't have any fathers. And they're having trouble reading, they're having trouble in school, they're having trouble with their discipline, etc. until they come into the program. I've worked with children from the juvenile court system. Our program has a 0% recidivism rate. Every child that's come to our program from jail has never been back. And that's coming from a program that I've been running out of my house since 2019. And we're just
That's legit. I mean, we get the point. It's like what do they call it? Big brother, big sister kind of thing, but more specifically for Black people. And that's the kind of thing that I don't have a problem with, because I don't have a problem with like, oh, this is for Black people. I have a problem with this is for everybody except that group of people. Very different. Very different. But all right, let's dive right back in.
To exercise some of these demons of racism.
right.
Yeah, but this is the crazy thing. You're completely correct, but then they end up giving their money to like BLM so they can buy big houses.
Yeah. The bugged out part is this is the reason why I get so upset at a lot of conservative and liberty movement folks. We don't highlight the people that are doing the type of work that could need the funding, and it winds up going over to we get this $6 million mansion because we told white people some goofy shit or stuff.
Hey man,
you know what I mean?
We gotta say stuff that get clicks. So the one thing that hurts us like that do work is sometimes what we're doing doesn't get all the clicks. So saying the outlandish stuff and saying you going super far right or super far left, that's what gets you on the shows. That's what gets you shown. But the work every day doesn't get shown like that, because what it does is if they put me on the platform.
What? Behave is on one tonight, girl. All right. Hey, and shout out to Box. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. And I definitely want to see if we had some more liberal people or Black people, because I think it's a little easy for us to have this conversation among people who are generally like, yeah, Black people are just like other people. We don't think that this is that. I think it's a little easier because we're like, yeah, there's just no problem. But if there's somebody who is buying into those narratives, whether they're true or not, having that perspective there is valuable. So, Box, I don't know your specific positions on racism and stuff like that in America, but we do have the two Black gentlemen here talking about basically what I've been saying for a long time: the Black community is the worst detriment to the Black American.
You shown, but the work every day doesn't get shown like that, because what it does is if they put me on the platform, right, or if they bring me to the GOP convention or whatever like that, now it's going to show that you actually have to do something to change the community, not have a podcast, not talk about it, not write a book. There's actually things that you could do to actually change the community, and it's already being done. So they make money off of selling to the people, the idea
that there's a problem
doing work, the idea of what could be done, or the idea of, I think they actually benefit from us not doing any work because it gives them something to talk about. I don't give them anything to talk about.
This was the Miami Herald?
No, Smithsonian.
Smithsonian made the actual
National Museum of African American History and Culture at the Smithsonian. So
I assumed that was some like college project. The Smithsonian Museum, they're still talking about the thing, right?
I got to pulp a little bit more of this because this is wild. Look at this. Obviously,
yeah, they're still talking about the whiteness thing, that being on time and having a family is whiteness.
At the Smithsonian. So I got to pulp a little bit more of this because this is wild. Look at this. Obviously, time following a rigid time schedule is white supremacy. Planning for the future. Here's what's really funny. Steak and potatoes, bland is best. Like, I'm sorry, dude. We have like, what's that guy? Mario Vitale. You got Emerald. You got Gordon Ramsay. What's this weird thing these leftists have with like white people don't like eating food? I don't understand that.
But I definitely would as well. But I don't think it's appropriate if I'm just like, hey, Trey, we need your opinion for this one. So, I mean, I would implore anybody to bring him through. But I'm gonna stay away from that.
Man's attractiveness based on economic status, power, and intellect. Holidays based on Christian religions. That's not white. There's big Christian nations that are not white. Look at South America.
Look at the Middle East.
Based on white history and male leaders. Competition, be number one, action oriented, must always do something about a situation.
And again, this whole thing is saying that this is white culture. So blacks, you don't be one. You be number one. You don't win. You don't have the winner loser dichotomy. Everybody's just okay. You're not action oriented. You don't do things. You don't master and control nature. You don't always have to do something about a situation. You can just let it be. Like, well, it's directly saying, black people, you are not as good as white people. That's exactly what this is saying.
This whole thing is just trying to convince non-white people to not work, sit around, complain, reject authority, and basically destroy their culture.
I think this keeps white people in power. So I would assume a white supremacist wrote this. Now, there are some black people, if the right left to share it, they're gonna. This is the truth, and people are gullible and naive enough to believe that this is the truth that we need in our community. Like, no, we should do everything the opposite of what grandma and granddad taught us, because apparently, according to this, my grandma's a white supremacist, my granddad's a white supremacist, being on time, Christian, hard work, etc. I mean, this is stuff I teach my sons on a daily basis.
This list made it. Like,
hey, shout out to Sarah Marie. Thank you so very, very much. And just looking at the numbers here, I believe that makes you our new sponsor of the stream. I don't know what's going on with our goal here, guys. That one definitely is teal. That one is teal. So I'll just keep count. I'll keep count. And I didn't even mean to do the teal. So let's just keep it at $15, $2 or more, and 20 on the floor. All right. Thank you so very, very much. Oh yeah, it's teal over here. Look at this. What? They're cheating. They're cheating. Look at this. They're cheating. It's teal here, but am I gonna regret doing this? If I put it up, it's blue, or it's blue here. They're cheating. So we'll go with that. We'll just so far we are 3 of 15. I'm making my own goals, baby. Do it your own way. We getting swole. So let's just keep track. Let's just keep a track. We are currently 3 out of 15. Thank you. And again, the new sponsor of the stream. It's not $59. It's about $6, but it is very, very, very much appreciated. Hey, and we also got our boy Zippy DSM Lee. Well, actually, that's also blue, but teal is the 5 and up. But thank you very much. I never meant to set it to teal anyway, but so I meant to do, if I'm gonna do teal, I'll do 15 to 20 of the $2 up, or 5 to 10 of the, just to mix it up and stuff. Anyway, thank you so very much, guys. Very much appreciated. Where we at here? Thank you. Carl said, Thomas Sowell traced the roots of black culture to the people from northern England and Scotland who settled the South. That's where Ebonics comes from. Their slaves took their culture north. Indeed. Is that they're called Norwegian Crone. Thank you very, very much. Hey, shout out to Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Inflation indeed is a bitch. It is a bitch. Okay, so Wendy's tomato farmers. Sergey and I were talking about this last night. Wendy's purchases from growers in Mexico that enslave and abduct employees and families. Welcome to late stage capitalism. And so good catch before when we were saying like, oh, there's no more slavery in America. We're specifically talking about the BLM style slavery. But yeah, you are absolutely correct. managed by Tryon Partners or Tryon Partners. Shady. I never said you had to drop another one, bro, but thank you to Zippy DSM Lee. And I said it didn't have to be teal. Chill out, motherfuckers. Chill the fuck out. I love you all. I love you. Sam Marie said, I know you prefer sharing the videos instead of wasting our money, but hey, you could do both. And speaking of which, either way, if you could do me a huge favor and do that right meow, just hit that share button, take the URL, throw it wherever you can, guys. It does not matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link or not. It does not matter. Once you tell YouTube, I like this and I want other people to see this, then they're going to be like, oh, okay, we should show it to more people. And that's how it works. I got zero new subscribers in the last 28 days, guys. So I could use it. Thank you. Hey, yo. Jimmy said, hell no, I will not chill out. I will feed Morty. Indeed, you will. Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. 4, 6, 5. I don't know who I gotta do math. I don't know who's the sponsor, but give me a second. We'll do that right meow. But first, let's shout out our boy King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. Now we got Box with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, guys, so very, very much. Where's my applause? There we go. Morty's starting to get, as you guys are getting more generous, Morty's starting to get more and more excited about coming down to do the shows. So he absolutely is appreciating it. So thank you very, very much, guys. All right. And again, if you were gifted a membership, make sure you join that Discord community because you now have full access as a member. Thank you. Let's dive right back in.
Christian, hard work, etc. I mean, this is stuff I teach my sons on a daily basis.
This list made it. Like, quality control, right?
Oh, my goodness. Again, with our boy, Guam Tech for the $2. Thank you. Steal the teal. I don't know what that means, but I'm with it. Thank you. And there you go. Nick threw it on Facebook. It cost you nothing, and it doesn't matter if anybody click on it. Now YouTube knows. Ooh, Nick wants other people to see this. So thank you. You guys are amazing.
Our sons on a daily basis.
This list made it. Like, actually, quality control, right? Exists. This list made it like through.
Yeah.
Like nobody was. It's like this is almost like the Jaguar commercial. Like this made it to.
Yeah, I think the Jaguar commercial was on point though. I think they know what they're doing.
How?
we talked about an IRL, but I'll ask you.
He got so mad. Look at this.
Was on point though. I think they know what they're doing.
How?
We talked about an IRL, but I'll ask you. This.
Oh, who buys the Jag?
Who buys the Jag? It's upscale, urban. So it's people who live in cities and people who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we've already seen since 2016 that's been trending heavily towards
agree or disagree?
Wokeness.
So agree or disagree? Do you think the Jaguar ad actually will help with their demographic? I don't think so. I think that is way off. But because I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that?
Okay. It's upscale, urban. So it's people who live in cities and people who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we've already seen since 2016 that's been trending heavily towards wokeness. So they're looking at wealthy, liberal, anti-Trump people who sold their Teslas. And they're like, look,
you need this.
The man in the fine suit smoking a cigar is not the guy buying the Jag anymore. That guy's voting for Donald Trump. He's not living in. So what do? They're targeting the new demographic.
I see it. Just to me, in my brain, that commercial, if it gets all the way through, the stage 1, absolutely not, is usually where they die first. Why would you even bring this to the office? This is dumb.
So I just put up a new poll, guys. Speaking of you guys being so generous, this has never really mattered before. But I would love to know if you guys would like the way that so the first option, reading supers as they come in. That's the way that we do it. So if we're, I may not necessarily be able to stop what we're watching for the regular chat, but if a super chat comes in, we'll, as soon as I can, we'll stop it and go to it. Or we could take some time to when we have a few of them, or whenever there's a natural break, if there are any. And I should have, if you don't care, don't vote. Actually, no, wait, we're going to do, I got to redo that because we'll do a don't care option. So it'll be the same thing.
Absolutely not. Is usually where they die first. Why would you even bring this to the office? This is dumb. Get it out of here. It got it through there. It got it through there. It got it all the way to now. If I go to the gym and if I have a good work ethic, somebody believe that this is the monopoly of white people. Now, if you're offended by this, and you should be to a certain extent, you should in essence go like what we did with BGM. I don't care who you said this is for. This Second Amendment thing, this being on time, this being in the gym, this working hard thing, that's mine now. Whoever main man was that thought it was the monopoly of the whites, whoever that is, I don't care what he thought. Like if you're offended by this, I think it shouldn't just stay at offended. You should go, cool. Like if you happen to be black, all right, cool, I'm white. Kiss my white ass. I'm doing all of this now.
Agreed. Box shout out with another $2. Thank you so very much. Said gay is their demo. Anyone here ever own a Jag? My dad had to. Lifelong Republican, and I didn't like them at the time. I thought they looked kind of old fashioned because he had a BMW before that, and so I don't know. But yeah. So Maj just yep, from Philly. Shout out to Philly. Go in, Philly. Where's the wanted foe, man? I need these inside jokes. I need unwanted foe to like to like How I Met Your Mother more than anyone else I know. Not more than me. Just more than anyone else I know. Shout out to, did I say it? Whatever. Either way, our boy King Nirvana. So he drives a BMW motorcycle, so I don't know. Oh, I missed this one. BMW, bad Mexican wagon, is what my Gramps said. What was the other one I heard? I don't remember. There was another one that I heard from, I think it was from a movie. I would imagine a BMW motorcycle would be pretty nice, no? So I said, how about let's just hold the wheel and trust in his own judgment. Yeah, I'm not amazing at that. So it seems like you guys are gonna trust me, and I won't let you down. I'll try my best, I promise. Yeah, Audis are nice. I would love an Audi. Carl said, all English cars are somewhat gay. True. Buck said I had a friend that just got one out of a junkyard. Okay. My first car was a 97 Subaru. And I don't know what happened to it. Did I crash that? I don't think I crashed it. What did happen to that car? I forgot what happened to that car. But then, because I had that car for maybe like a year or so, and then I got a 4-door Honda Civic, and I was friends with a guy who had a Nissan Sentra, ironically, that I now drive, and he was so into tuning cars. But of course, we're 17; we don't have money to like buy anything legit, so we're ordering parts off eBay. And eventually, my car couldn't pass the emissions test because it was so much stuff. Big Monkey Wang. Hadn't heard that one before, but. One sec. Said I love the Jags before recent. Old style luxury is my taste, but too bad I can't afford it yet. And that's what I didn't like about it when my dad had it. I was like, this looks like an old car. Like I didn't know any better. Obviously, it was a brand new car, but their style, exactly, old style luxury. It was the only person I knew with a Jag was a black grandpa. Was he gay? That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Like if you happen to be black. All right, cool. I'm white. Kiss my white ass. I'm doing all of this now.
Well, I think we can self-identify now. So I guess according to this, I have to identify as a white man.
Well, did you vote for Joe Biden?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I mean, come on, I mean, Joe Biden said it outright. If you don't vote for me,
you're not black.
See, he said you ain't black. Okay, let's properly quote people.
This
I have to identify as.
I think that this stuff is this is actually masterful.
It is. I agree.
On a different level, because the audacity of it and the obvious low IQ thought process that went into it. I don't think that somebody that does this is just like a bumbling idiot.
I don't know if it's low IQ.
I think it's very high IQ that can hide. Like, you know how like in Star Wars, a Sith Lord that's really, really dope can hide his level. You can't read the level that he on.
Yep.
It's the drunken monkey high. This is so high tech because now I get to argue about.
I was going to ask you what you meant, but code shifting, whether
or
code switching. Like you have your work voice and then your normal voice, and it's very much spoken about as a black thing. But if you've ever worked in an office or you've ever worked in like customer service or front facing with people, like, you have your customer service voice, white, black, man, woman, whatever. I used to get made fun of because not like made fun of, but like we all used to laugh at how my table voice, I was a server at restaurants, and so my table voice would go so much higher. And it was funny because just like right now, those of you who are in the Discord know that this isn't like naturally how I talk. Like, I'm not putting on an act, but I'm very aware that I'm on a show right now, so I'm trying to enunciate and stuff. Then we get into the Discord, then I'm a little bit more casual. But even there, like, I know that you guys gotta be able to understand me. And so, like, if you were in person, then like this is way more I'm about to talk like naturally. If I'm just talking about something, I'm not gonna be like, not articulated, but like really just belting out whatever I'm saying. I'm just gonna say what I'm saying. But obviously, that's a lot harder to understand. And then if we go to you add the customer service layer onto it, like, hey, I'm Watch. How are we doing today? Code switching. I said having a manual now is like having a free anti-theft device. Few people can drive them now. I've never had a car that was manual, so I never was able to practice that much. But the guy I was just talking about with the Sentra back in the day taught me how to drive sick on his car. And the way I mean, it's been a while, but you get once you understand what it is that you're supposed to do, it's just a matter of feeling it out. So I just say like, if there was an emergency, I could definitely get us to where we need to go, but I don't know if your clutch would like me. So there's also cultural code switching, making fun of rural accents. So you talk differently to different people. Exactly. Behave said George Soros was so open about how easy it is to manipulate black people to do his will. And yeah, I'm glad that you phrased it this way, because this is not somebody could call this racist, either on you or on George Soros, but it's not. Because what he's, actually, I don't want to speak for George Soros, but let's accept this as fact, that it is easy for George Soros to manipulate black people to do his will. I don't believe that that's because of something inherently inferior about black people. I believe that is a byproduct of the messaging, indoctrination, propaganda, so on and so forth, that is given to black people. Sarah said, whenever my kids stumble upon any of my videos, they call me out on sounding different. Yeah, well, you also have to realize that they don't necessarily have it's slightly different, actually, but it just reminded me of this. That you remember when you were a kid, and the first time you heard your voice on your answering machine, and you were like, that's what I sound like? But now we're all constantly taking videos of ourselves and each other from the time you're a little kid. So kids will never have that, like, whoa, what? Because before they even understand what's going on, they're going to hear how their voice sounds on recordings. But so yeah, just a little side quest from a side quest. Guantex and call it ignorance, but I never had any kind of tone shift in my customer service jobs. Even today, I talk the way I normally do to anyone. Works in my favor more often than not. Well, you also have a soothing voice, so that kind of works for you. And you also have a I don't want to, not soft as opposed to like tough, but soft as opposed to brash. You also have a soft, approachable way about you. So you probably don't need to shift. But I would guarantee you that subconsciously you do it. I bet you if you record if your wife recorded a conversation, just the two of you chatting about whatever, and then a conversation with you and a potential client, you'd be able to tell the difference. Even if, I'll add on to that, even if for whatever reason you were saying the exact same thing. Let's say you were having an innocuous conversation about something unrelated to your marriage or to your work, and you guys were just talking about jiu-jitsu, and you said, oh yeah, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for X years. I guarantee you if we recorded you saying, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for however many years, to your wife in a casual conversation versus when you're talking to a client, I guarantee you'd be able to tell the difference. Guarantee it. Yeah. So my parents forced my sister and I to learn stick shift. They said if we can drive a stick, we can drive anything. Bingo. Yup. King. So I'm sure he thinks it's easy to manipulate people in general too. If I had to guess, that's why I was like, let me not speak for George Soros. I think I could speak fairly enough or behave on not believing that black people are inherently worse. But George Soros, you know. And there's that too, as we were talking about before with the redneck voice and stuff. So lots of code switching. Oh, you ladies are on fire tonight. You guys are on fire. All right, dive back in here.
Monkey high. This is dope. Can hide this level. You can't read the. Wait, what are we doing? It's just cue thought process that went into it. I don't think that somebody that does this is just like a bumbling idiot.
I don't know if it's low IQ.
I think it's very high IQ that can hide. Like, you know how like in Star Wars, a Sith Lord that's really, really dope can hide his level. You can't read the level that he on.
Yep.
It's the drunken monkey high. This is so high tech because now
do I need more context to that? Or is that just kind of, he hides it so well that you can't tell?
To argue about how stupid this is, as opposed to your point, going into organizations, people, businesses that are in alignment with liberty. And we on the low end, we going to trick some people that really, really think, because if you a fatty, if you just don't want to work out,
I thought he was going to say the other F word.
Because if you a fatty, if you just don't want to work out, if you love being late all of the time, now I could blame this. So we get the low-hanging fruit there.
Yep.
But on a different level, on a higher level.
Hey, shout out to Zippy DSM Lee again with the $2 Rumble rant. Thank you. We'll count, since I messed up, we'll count the gifted subs. So we got 11, 4 more, guys, 4 more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you.
Now I can blame this. So we get the low-hanging fruit there.
Yep.
But on a different level, on a higher level, now we got to try to re-indoctrinate or reprogram the thought process of somebody that now could have been a soldier for a community that now fighting to say, yeah, if you actually go work out and keep a solid work ethic, you are promoting white supremacy.
Man, I think what this is doing, what it could do is it's aiding the idea for people to not do better. And that's super bland to say, but I think like I've been working with kids for about 6 years now.
All right, hold on. Sorry, I'm too dumb for this. Hold on. We got 2, 4. We got 3, 15, 17. All right, let's update that box. Our new sponsor of the stream. I apologize for that. Thank you so very much. I'm not good at math, guys. I think you know what? I'm gonna switch it over. I'm not gonna. Obviously, I got to do the math to see who the sponsor is. But I'm just gonna put your name, unless you keep count, because I'm not good at math.
What it could do is it's aiding the idea for people to not do better. And that's super bland to say, but I think like I've been working with kids for about 6 years now. And so the kids that I've been working with, mostly single mother households, etc. But I think what they're doing is telling them that it's okay to be in the condition that you're in. Like it's okay, if that's just white people stuff. And then if you think about it, you ever notice how like in the black community, like let's say you go to the family reunion, the rich auntie, how everybody treats her when she gets, because she made it and she's doing good for herself. Everybody's just like, here she go with the car. And so subconsciously all the kids, start thinking, oh, well, I don't want to do better because nobody likes them or whatever. They're not in an environment
why you acting weird, you acting white,
where it's cool to do the right thing. So things like this is like aiding children not wanting to do better, because now the cool thing is doing the wrong thing, and everybody around you is doing the wrong thing. So I want to be wanted, I want to be like just normal kids, normal adults, well, I'm not doing the best, and they're saying that if I do better, this is a white culture, and I'm not a white supremacist, and I don't want to be aligned with white folks or Donald Trump, so I'm not going to do better. And this is the psyop that they're creating in the minds of the people.
I've asked this before of some other black conservatives, but is there a thing where they say like, "Hey, you're acting white"?
Yeah. You just gotta. So I'm a solutionary. So when I get hit with that, I go, "No, I'm just better than you." Yep. You got to challenge people to go, and then when you can quantify,
I'm better than you. That's it. Shout out to Guam Tang. Said commit to your white supremacy, Lutch. All right, I'm diving in. I'm a white supremacist. We did it. So Zibby, that is 12. Zibby, are you keeping count? We're at 12, right? I think that's 12, right? Keep me. Oh wait, I have them right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4 from Zippy. So now we are at now we're at 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus your 4. So we're at 11. 3 more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you. So very much.
I'm just better than you. Yep. You got to challenge people to go, and then when you can quantify that statement by, no, I'm not acting white. This thought that you think that excellence is only associated with white is where they got you in the first place. So when I go like, no, I'm not acting white. I'm just better than you, bro. I'm better,
bro.
You gotta own that.
The reason why I brought that up is because what we see right now with like the Democratic Party is anything that the right does must be bad no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this funny thing happens with Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. He sees it's like Elon Musk advocating for restrictions on if you're a general in the military, you can't get a job with a defense contractor.
I have no idea what he's on about. When he said talking about Black Salami, when he said the thing about getting banned, I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. And then he said something that said I got removed from all the chat channels earlier today, and they took my permissions till I said something like a little hacker man because the page was still open. So I was like, oh, so you're talking about a different server, and they just never said anything. And then I just looked in. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not really concerned. If he has a problem, or if anybody has an issue with your Discord, just let me know, and we will work it out.
Musk advocating for restrictions on if you're a general in the military, you can't get a job with a defense contractor for 10 years. And Cenk is like, the progressives have been arguing for that forever.
Yeah.
Because these high-ranking military guys will overspend like crazy because they're cutting a deal. Like, hey, we're going to dump public funds.
We got you.
And give me a job.
Mm-hmm.
The left attacked him when he asked, let me help you get this policy through. And he was like, why are you mad? Like, we want this thing.
Right. Yep.
So it's similar in that there's this idea among a lot of these people. You mentioned like the aunt comes in and she's got a nice car and they don't want that. They want to be like that. They're being told,
oh, you bougie.
Told that success is white supremacy, is racism. You don't want to go anywhere near it.
I had to check my auntie the other day. We was having no, it was at my birthday party in July. Well, we had a family get together, and my son.
What is going on with this button? I think this is the part I remembered, but this is the heart. This is the heart of it. This is why we are having this discussion.
Auntie the other day, we was having no, it was at my birthday party in July. Well, we had a family get together, and my son was talking. And my aunt was like, why are you talking so proper? And I'm just like, well, that's how he's supposed to talk. You know, he's not supposed to be, talking, slang or nothing like that. He's supposed to, because he was like, hey, Dad, I need to go use the restroom. Right. She was like, why are you talking so proper? And I'm just like, well, that's how he's supposed to talk. Like, I know how that's
what proper means.
He talk, but right now, that's what he needs to learn. Like, he can learn, the lingo and stuff later on. But as of right now, but I had to get her. I'm like, dude, like, that's what I understand. You might raise your grandkids a different way or have them talk a certain way, but he's going to be a different child from y'all, or whatever. And you just have to accept that. But in the idea of that, subconsciously, what she's saying is, why are you talking so white? Right. That's what that means.
But that's crazy. She said proper because proper just means correct. It just means doing the right thing.
That's it.
And why are you being correct? Even if
better than a jive talking professor, you jive turkey.
The argument was speaking that way is a different culture of ours. To use the word proper it's like as if to imply
it's all. I don't think it counts as a Freudian slip because it's not exactly that same thing. But it's in the words that you're saying. Why are you talking proper? Because it's properly. But I'm talking properly because that's the proper way to talk. Why are you not talking properly?
She knows that is the correct way to speak English.
Correct. Now that's actually the real. I know we tongue in cheek, but that's actually that thought process that told Black folks, if we isolating it and for this conversation to Black folks, that's actually white supremacy. If I can convince
and let's for the as as Ann brought up before, about how slavery and racism are different things. Not they can both occur, but they're not the same thing. So for the purposes of this conversation, let's assume that we're talking about Black Americans, unless they say otherwise. Poor dude had too many shrooms in the 70s. I mean, hey, it was the 70s, man.
You to only chase things that make your entire lineage worse.
Yep. Yeah.
And that didn't show up with Black people. I'm sorry. Like, some of the viewers might be like, oh, we didn't do it. You physically, as the white dude now, might have not done it. But there were conscious by design things that said, no, we have to, even the concept of that thing called the Uncle Tom, right? In the book, Tom did not sell out.
Yep.
Tom was the one that did not do what Massa said do.
Yep.
Over time, the conditioning was on this plantation, yo, you not, if I'm the white slave master, yo, you not being an Uncle Tom, is you? To that, you know, what Samuel Jackson's character type dude, right? Now that dude goes, yo, I ain't no Uncle
And Django, I assume.
Tom, because you're vying.
Unless Sam Jackson played Uncle Tom in an Uncle Tom movie, but I'm thinking of the Django version of Sam
Jackson's character type dude, right? Now that dude goes, yo, I ain't no Uncle Tom, because you're vying for a white person's association and adornment. So now you start repeating it, and then you go, oh, what y'all Uncle Toms? Nobody, as the story continues to go on, actually read the book to know that this character was the dude that didn't sell out.
Right.
So when somebody put,
and I'm definitely not the most prolific book reader out there, but if I'm going to use something like that, I'm going to at least try to look at, wait, this is what that means, right? And because that is unfortunately, that is an organic evolution of language, that that Uncle Tom was the one who didn't sell out. But because of the way people use it, it now means the opposite. Just like how literally used to mean literally and figuratively used to mean figuratively. Because people kept saying literally when they meant figuratively, the language evolved. And so when somebody says, this is literally the worst day of my life, you understand that they are saying, they're being hyperbolic when they say that. And so it is now proper English to use literally when you mean figuratively, because language does evolve. The problem, again, is not when it evolves organically. It's when the semantics are obfuscated and we get linguistic creep. Yeah, this is going to come up later again. Golden says it's best to learn how to speak well so that you know how to break the rules to speak badly. And this actually is a very common thing across just, I want to say life, but the specific thing I'm thinking of is, of those you don't know, I'm a dog trainer, and specifically when it comes to leash work. Obviously we see dogs out on walks, and they're stiff and stuff, and they're doing this, and maybe they're not like right heeling right at your side, and that's common. But if you have a dog that's pulling and doing all of this, then you have to cut out all of the stopping and starting. And the idea is you're walking him, he's not walking you. So just because he speeds up, you don't speed up. Just because he slows down doesn't mean you stop or whatever. And so the idea is not that a dog sniffing stuff on a walk is bad. The idea is that the dog believing that the rules are you're in charge, or the dog thinking that the dog is in charge and that you're just there to follow them, is the problem. And so once you establish, no, I'm the one walking you. And yes, we can stop and sniff stuff, but I'm letting you sniff this. You're not telling me. And same thing for language. It's not a problem to use slang and speak casually, but you have to understand what the proper rules are so that you can break them appropriately. Summary said, which means $59 only grant you after tax fries at McDonald's, if that, but every little bit counts. So thank you very, very much. And that's really the game here, guys. I mean, I don't love, guys know I don't love talking about all that stuff too much, but that really is the game. We don't need some big baller coming in here dropping $100 every day. If you can, a dollar here once a week. If half of you dropped $1 once a week, that would change the game. Just saying. It all adds up. Carl said, historically, if your city was conquered, you instantly became a slave. It wasn't racial. Julius Caesar enslaved an entire city of 400,000 Celts at least once. Yep, indeed. So that's why we want to focus on Black Americans, because that can become a much bigger conversation. Oh man, one of these days. I don't think, if I understand the way I felt about the first time I did acid, and I was like, oh, you're not really like living and understanding the environment that you're in unless you've at least done some kind of trip. And I think DMT just has to be like the next level. I don't know. I want it so bad. All right.
To know that this character was the dude that didn't sell out.
Right.
So when somebody puts that thought process into a person's brain and then it starts to spread down over time.
Yeah, my bong, Nick.
That is white supremacy.
Even I was listening to this guy talk about the word nigga.
Yeah.
He was actually explaining how the word nigga was only used when you were in rebellion.
Right.
So this is a great point as well. Because I don't trust the elves, I'm not doing it. Well, they're there whether you interact with them or not. I want to make friends. They usually, from what I've heard, they do want to help. It may not be a pleasant experience in the moment, but they do want to help. I don't know. Can you get it like that? I mean, you ain't got to put that on YouTube, but yo, let's get something happen. You were really the intravenous DMT experiments the Pentagon was doing. That wasn't. No, Paperclip was the Nazi doctors. Did they have a specific name for it that I would recognize? Because I mean, I don't remember specifically, but I'm sure if it has a name that's pretty popular, I'm sure I've heard of it. But yeah, again, a good point here from King.
White supremacy.
Even I was listening to this guy talk about the word nigga.
Yeah.
He was actually explaining how the word nigga was only used when you were in rebellion,
right,
to white people. Because at first he was just like, okay, you know how you'd be walking up down the street in the 60s or whatever, they call you boy or something like that. But when you be rebellious, hey nigga,
right,
that's when you were called a nigga. When you were doing the wrong thing, when you were going against white people, you were called the nigga. So he was like, nigga ain't even the bad word. He was like, I want to be a nigga because I don't want to be with the racist white people, etc. So I kind of got what the psyop that you're explaining now is. You convinced us that everything right is wrong and everything that destroys our lineage is the right thing. That's subconsciously that's what we do, because just like he said, the word proper means correct, right? So for you to say, why are you speaking correct, why are you doing the right thing, like it's subconscious
because it's right. Let's take a look at this real quick. We'll just check the abstract of what Carl was saying. Psilocybin, serotonergic psychedelic, is being increasingly researched in clinical studies for the treatment of psychiatric disorders. Wait, yeah, this affects DMT volunteers from. I think this is what we're talking about. Lengthy duration of oral psilocybin's acute effects for 6 hours may have pragmatic and cost effectiveness limitations. Here we explored the effects of IV DMT, shooting it up. Closely related but faster acting psychedelic on intervention on medical Jesus Christ. Faster acting psychedelic intervention on medical health outcomes in healthy volunteers. Data reported from 1 to 2 from 2 separate analyses. 1, comparison of mental health related variables after 1 week after different doses versus a saline placebo, and then then a prospective data set assessing before versus 2 weeks after a specific amount of DMT. So there's 2 different styles. So let's get a conclusion here. There's a little. Where are we? Jesus Christ. And this is losing its relevance. All right, we tried. But they done did it. All right, let's dive back in.
Right. So for you to say, why are you speaking correct? Why are you doing the right thing? Like it's subconscious because she's, older. She's just like, why are you doing the right thing? I'm supposed to be doing the wrong thing. Like I don't get this psyop, man. It's
this
crazy.
Is why I think after a certain point, they did the same thing with the term woke too.
Yeah, same thing. Yep.
this is a part of the reason why when you unraveling these things, right? This is where I'm starting to land.
You're just one of a kind, damn, just one of a kind.
Where it got to be spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
because it becomes a like, man, we've had these lessons, we've had these experiences, we could unravel them and break them down.
Right.
But it's like, man, you guys are making a conscious effort, like over generations, to make sure that people aren't. It's like the Tower of Babel.
Yep.
We're not really communicating with each other. We just speaking at each other in ways that everybody may not understand, because there's somebody in the mix going, do not communicate effectively with that person. Tell them from this group, yo, if you actually aspire to excellence, you are being white.
Yep.
Proper is the association of white. And then all
And this happens across any type of like the polarization of any issue, that it gets so polarized that you're now working against just human belief systems and how belief systems develop in the brain, aside from the actual issues, aside from being white or being black. It's so far ingrained that to even have the discussion, you have to address those things first. And because they're so ingrained and they're subconscious a lot of times, then it's not easy. And because of everything that they're saying, it's too easy for the people who are, maybe not on the most comfortable side of the conversation to be like, well, that's racist.
actually aspire to excellence, you are being white.
Yep.
Proper is the association of white. And then all you got to do is the quick back scroll, right? And you look at Frederick Douglass, when you look at his writing and reading, when he could not write and read, you start to go, that is the concept of excellence.
Right.
Right. And it's just not the monopoly of that. And so I don't know, man. I just start leaning on, the Cat Williams statement. It ain't race. It's God's side and the other side. Like in my brain, because for the longest time, I just was like, I don't really know about this God thing. Because why is God playing it this way?
Come on. I said shit. Me too.
Why?
Oh my God.
Is God like doing this? Like,
I need a new mouse.
Why does my daughter now, my child's mother died in October, right? Why does my daughter have to?
Nobody's going to say I'm sorry to hear that. Jesus Christ.
Daughter now, my child's mother died in October, right? Why does my daughter have to deal with this pain that I cannot help her with? So that for a while I was like, why is God like being like you kind of being a dick a little bit, right? And so when these types of things happen, it leans me in a direction more of like, this has to be some sort of bigger lesson in spiritual whatever, and it goes that way in stark contrast to how I've been feeling for some time now. And it, I guess every group of people feel like they're the chosen, but if each individual is having a struggle within themselves, then everybody becomes that individual that is reflecting on their choices, life, and then it leans you in the spiritual space. Not to get all woody woo, but it has to be something like that, because this is too dumb.
Is that from something specific? Because I feel like that came out. Not came out, but became a lot more ubiquitous over the last couple of years. I definitely heard it like back in the day, but now it seems like anytime an urban person, and again, I'm saying somebody city dwelling, not a black person, because if I was talking about black people, I'd just say black people, but an urban person telling a story, there's always like, it's the yada, 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 but it's just woody, woody, woo. Is that from something specific, or did that just develop like the yada yada yada
spiritual space? Not to get all
yada, yada.
woo, but it has to be something like that, because this is too dumb.
Feels like a test.
Yeah.
You've got free will. What are you gonna do with it?
Because this is dumb.
Do you though?
Being on time, and I get the joke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we all say CP time.
Like, I get the joke.
Like, I already know.
Put a 1 in the chat if you do not know what CP time means in this context.
And I get the joke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we all say CP time.
Like, I get the joke.
Like, I already know. Like, when we had a family reunion, they say we're gonna eat at 3, 5. Get there by 5. Like, because they're just now starting to cook at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, we just know that. Like, I don't know.
But every culture.
So he says, why do humans try and anthropomorphize everything? The sun is not a man. God is not a human. Man's folly is thinking too much. But don't you think that not anthropomorphize, that specifically means, human characteristics. But if you just, for lack of a better word, if you take this journey with me, isn't it kind of doing that same type of thing by saying that God is or is not anything? Like, to say God is not human is putting it in a category of, I don't know. I'm half baked there. I got the half baked idea. Do you know what I mean, or should I just ditch it? Carl said Alex Jones was talking about how the Pentagon uses these DMT drip trip experiments to talk to the elves and ask them to solve technical problems. Sounds crazy. Actually, it sounds pretty legit. Really? Nobody? I know y'all here. You don't know what CP time means? CPT, man. Colored people time. Yeah, got free will, but can't do anything with it. Or maybe you just don't have free will. Carl said, I believe in a spiritual. Are you talking to each other? Cool. Or
Just now starting to cook at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like we just know that. Like I don't know.
But every culture has that.
Right.
So it's like when I'm in Miami, they were like, oh, it's Miami time. And I'm like, what does that mean? It's like everybody's always late. And I'm like, why do I hear that same thing? Everybody acts like it belongs to
Marketing
right?
says that's colored people time.
Right.
That's what marketing.
Yeah, that's where I was going. So I mean, like just the idea of like, that's the same or I think that is done for the same reason that people anthropomorphize things like the sun or animals or whatever, is to resonate with it more easily. And I don't know about it.
I'm like, why do I hear that same thing? Everybody acts like it belongs to
Marketing
right?
says that's colored people time.
Right.
That's what marketing does. So again, the marketing and advertising for the black community is like all the bad stuff is, oh, the black people do that stuff.
If I had remembered that he said that, I would have waited and let see if anybody caught it.
If I can get to both of y'all points, if I'm the 10% of the room that needs to control 90% of the room.
What does this shirt say? Being a bitch is.
If I can get everybody in those other 90%.
Oh, being a bitch is un-American. I'm with it. I don't necessarily agree, but I like the sentiment.
To the room to feel empowered by the CP thing is just for black people. The late thing is only for the Miami people.
Mm-hmm.
The such and such is only the whites do rebellious things. Right. If I can get each group of those people to almost like make it a badge of honor, I win. But and y'all aren't communicating with each other, because then you go, yeah, we do that all of the time. It's like
just like the only black people with cop talk, that only black people have to sit their kids down and talk to them about how to interact with police.
Culture that you go to has a dish for like chicken and rice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And then they'll be like, this is my grandmother's bro. You know what I'm saying? It's that's where again I just go, this has to be a test.
Because you're not racist.
Yeah, that's my my food story I tell people, because I've traveled all over.
Or maybe it's because you're a white supremacist, you don't have any black friends, and so you've never heard about it. Because as we all know, having black friends is the measure of whether or not you're a racist.
I went to Thailand, asked my buddy to get me some real Thai food, and he's like, "Oh, you want real Thai food, huh? Steamed chicken and rice."
Yep. I was just in Africa. I think August. I was there for a mission trip. I was going to teach some kids there, and food. Asked me what we had.
What did you get?
Chicken and rice.
It might be seasoned a bit different. Right. It might be called something different, but in the end, the main dish was chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Do y'all know that what we're talking about and hinting towards is the thing that gets you fully canceled? What you're talking about and discussing is pulling back the veil, recognizing the unity in all things. It could be this thing that everybody in every culture goes, bro, I'm on time. What are you talking about? I'm Indian. I'm not a white supremacist, right? And if you go,
he's talking to me.
Go, yeah, bro, chicken and rice, Thailand, chicken and rice, Africa, they're gonna jaw off you to death, and like you know what I mean?
Yep.
My point is,
they're gonna what?
They're gonna jaw off you to death.
Is he saying? Is jaw? Does that mean like talking your ear off? Or is jaw a thing?
Chicken and rice, Thailand, chicken and rice, Africa, they're gonna jaw off you to death, and like you know what I mean?
Yep.
My point in saying that is what we're talking about beneath the surface is the thing that goes, last week was I can't remember how many years anniversary of Fred Hampton Sr. being murdered, killed by the Chicago Police Department and the FBI, right? Fred Hampton, even though it was Black Panthers, was all people got to work together.
I've said it before. As soon as he got everybody on one accord, regardless of race, he was talking to everybody, the white, the Mexican, whatever. Once he got everybody on one accord, they like.
Shout out to Baltazar. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, that is Maj Toure is how you say it, right? Maj Toure and King Randall talking about Black culture and the Black community and all that stuff. Welcome to the party. We also got Luke Ash in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, but wasn't the Black Panthers a militant movement that also used violence to get their way? Yes, but and I'm not necessarily trying to take a position on the Black Panthers, but there was I think it would be ignorant to say that there was not at least a perceived need for stuff like that. You know, whether we want to, you know, in hindsight, how we look at that. But you know, that's why we're not really going rah rah Black Panthers. It's just more talking about the attitudes and more specifically the propaganda that comes with these ideas. Welcome to the party. Yeah, I'd heard of Black Guns Matter before, but I'm a Jersey, so we not gun country, and so I never really got into that. But I've definitely can't speak. I've definitely heard of him before. Luke said, yeah, but that violence didn't do anything except for hurt what they were trying to achieve. Well, and that's kind of exactly the conversation we're having, where there is that nuance where there were bad things happening, and they're trying to achieve getting or fixing those bad things. And then how they went about that is kind of its own discussion. But the effects of that and how that plays out and how people think about that today is really what we're focusing on. So welcome, both of you.
On accord, regardless of race, he was talking to everybody, the white, the Mexican, whatever. Once he got everybody on one accord, they like, oh, okay, now you tripping.
Right.
Same thing with Dr. King. They used Dr. King for as long as they could until he started saying, okay, hold up, everybody's having a certain issue with the government. Bye, Dr. King. We about to bye, Dr. King. Every time Malcolm X, he was fine when he was just about the Black people. Soon as he started trying to get everybody together, bye, Malcolm X. You can't do the full unity thing. They have to keep everybody in their separate groups.
Yeah. Didn't you just bring up Tower of Babel?
Yeah.
Keep everybody separated, unable to communicate. And then it shatters your society.
Absolutely.
It's
Shout out again to Zippy DSM Lee. Let me grab one here for you. Thank you so very much for the Rumble Rant. And of course, every donation. Oh, come on. I always do that. Every donation comes with a treat for my co-host, Morty. Thank you, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated. Okay.
Apple?
Yeah.
Keep everybody separated, unable to communicate. And then it shatters your society.
Absolutely.
It's if I was a super, like, I respect it because it's smart. If I was a super villain, I would do it too. Like, the super villain game is an amazing game because you got to think of it. You're engaging and tricking and manipulating also the warrior class that might like fold you up.
Yeah, Luke says they didn't teach me that in public schools when I was in the States. They just gave a brief description of that time period. Yeah, and again, that is a reasonable, hopefully, watching How I Met Your Mother. But again, hit them up. Be like, yo, where y'all at? That's what I need you guys to do because I can't do it. But yeah, that's a good point. The opposite side of people, just milking racism for its victimization. We still do, as you're saying, we didn't really get too in depth about the Black Panthers and all that stuff. We heard that they exist. We heard Malcolm X. We heard Martin Luther King Jr. And then civil the march, and then civil rights, and then he got killed. So you're absolutely right. And I think that, when people talk about Black history, I don't like the idea of segregating that, but I do agree that there's more significant Black people in history that could be talked about just as part of the curriculum. And it's almost I could see how there's a perception that, the government just doesn't care, the white people don't care, whoever it is. Yeah, so that's definitely part of the problem. Balthazar said, one of my favorite photos of Pigpen from the Grateful Dead is him with a rifle and standing next to this beautiful Black Panther woman. There you go. There you go. Balthazar said, my pleasure. I'm a big fan of Maj. I used to listen to him while imprisoned at Fort Dix on the local conservative radio station. When you were in prison or when he was in prison? Luke says, I guess nobody has realized that the American media has been pivotal in keeping people arguing with each other rather than seeing what the government is doing to all of them. Yep, that you hit the nail on the head. What? An international cannabis drug lord. Yowza. Carl said MLK was basically a front for communists. He wasn't unalive because he didn't follow orders. He followed orders and was unalive to consolidate the position as a martyr. I mean, again, I don't know that for sure, but it certainly makes sense. It certainly makes sense. Can I do? Okay.
And tricking and manipulating also the warrior class that might like fold you up. And you're doing this brave thing of trying to trick everybody to not work together, not work out. As soon as a few of those people start going to the gym, eating healthy or being on time, like this list is the list of like how you break them.
Hey, I have a super controversial take about January 6th because I said this before.
All right, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to, the goal that I just ended because I messed it up, that is still in place. So the new goal is going to be on top of that. So we can have double goals. We are now at 12 out of 15. So 3 more and we are on the floor, but we are also going to do a new goal on top of it.
I had stuff like how you break them.
Hey, I have a super controversial take about January 6th because I said this before.
Sounds like it.
I had black people, black people always do this pretend thing like they're so mad about January 6th. They bring it up all the time. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, let's take a step back for a second. I'm like, white people believed in their cause so much that they went to overtake the Capitol. Y'all have been crying. We've been crying about police brutality and all this crap for so many years. We got these gangsters talking about how they so gangster. They go kill other black people and go rape the black women and do all this stuff to the black community. But y'all went at the Capitol protesting the police brutality that y'all swear been hurting y'all so bad for so many years, or all the white, well, we would have got shot. Okay, we'll die for it then. You'll die in your community. You'll die in your community. You'll let the game maker shoot y'all up. So what's wrong with going to the Capitol and doing the same thing? I'm like, if you claim you care about it so much and we so hard and we so gangster, I ain't seen y'all go shout out to the president or go up to the Capitol or none of that stuff that y'all been complaining about for all these years. We've had so many things we've been complaining about. All the gangster rappers, etc. All y'all full of cap. Every last one of y'all around here talking about y'all gonna shoot somebody. Drake said in the rap, he said if we had guns that shoot backwards, no rappers would be dead. Because all y'all full of cap. All the gangsters, all the black activists and all that, y'all behind should be like, you know what, we need to go down there to the Capitol. But y'all down there scared. You scared.
But here's what's really funny.
Damn.
You had Black Lives.
Damn. So yes, we do. I have a new goal of 5. The old goal of 15 is still in effect. So if we get to this, if we get 3 more, then that satisfies the old goal. If we get all 5 of these, I will do another 20 push-ups. All right, let's do it.
Lives Matter riots, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What was the predominant racial makeup of that protest?
White.
It was white people.
And what communities were they destroying?
Supremacy.
And they were destroying black neighborhoods.
What communities they were destroying?
True. We need a dilly for that. Dilly.
Black businesses, even during the LA riots, I remember the video. They had these black people from black businesses crying. They was like, we not the ones hurting y'all. Like, why y'all burning down my business? Like, it was sad, bro. Like, we so backward, and they allow it to the psyop to destroy our minds to the point where we go mess up they just having fun destroying stuff. I'm just like, dude, these are people that really care about your community, that are actually trying to put back in your community, and you out here killing them and hurting them.
Look.
Balthazar says, Maj describes gun control as hitting what you're aiming for. Hell yeah, there you go.
Get Ferguson riots.
Yeah.
They burned down a gas station. And I went down there and I interviewed people. And at the time, this was against the narrative. You couldn't say this. We interviewed people on the street, black people. Why did they burn down the gas station? They said it was because it was run by an Indian guy.
Wow.
They said, why are they coming into our neighborhoods, buying up our property and running their businesses in our community where they make money off of us? So we were told that by like 2 or 3 different people. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's for, I don't know. Maybe that's why they did it. Maybe that's why they didn't, but that's what they were telling us. But then something funny happens. You got this article in, I think it was the New Republic or something, and it becomes a book in defense of looting, where these white liberals write that black people are looting businesses as a form of slave revolt, essentially, against an oppressive capitalist system that's holding them back.
You guys heard about this? I forget exactly what it was, but it was I believe it was Harvard, where there was a paper on. Oh, I can't even remember. I'll try to find it. I thought I remembered a little bit more about that. Never mind.
This is as a form of slave revolt, essentially, against an oppressive capitalist system that's holding them back. And if you actually were down there at Ferguson, what you found was the locals who lived there were begging for help to stop the rioting because their stores and businesses were getting looted. And
shout out to Kyle Rittenhouse and shout out to Sarah Marie. 1 down, 4 more to go. But of course, now we're at 13 from our original goal. So 2 more, and I'm on the floor. 2 more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. Unwanted foe. Hey, shout out to unwanted foe. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. I assume you were watching How I Met Your Mother, and I hope you are enjoying it. Welcome. So, damn, those Indian guys owning gas stations during the summer of love. Yeah, not a good time to be Indian. Not a good time to be a gas station owner, especially in Waukesha or what was the other one? I forget, but you know, Minneapolis, right? Minneapolis, yep.
Lived there were begging for help to stop the rioting because their stores and businesses were getting looted.
Hey, the Swole stream. So I actually messed up the original goal and made it. I messed it up. So we had 10. So if we get to 10, we get to 15, we're now at 13, then I'm doing 20 push-ups. But if we can get to this goal and hit this goal, then I'll do another 20 push-ups. Swole stream! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very, very much, sir.
Who lived there were begging for help to stop the rioting because their stores and businesses were getting looted. And the people that were coming and doing it were people of all races who were trying to steal stuff.
Yeah. Man, I know a lot of it was set up. I want to explain something that happened in my hometown. So I had took charge of this case in my hometown where this guy, well, it was a city over in Sylvester. It's about 15 minutes away from my hometown. This guy got killed by a police by mistake. He was driving and the guy was walking and the police hit him with the car. The idea was that the guy was already dead after the police hit him. But the coroner gets there and mistakenly runs over the guy's body and then backs up over the guy's body or whatever like that. And they didn't know whether he was dead or not before the coroner came and hit him or whatever. Wow. So the idea. So anyway, fast forward through all that. They gave us all the case file.
Well, look at what we got. Look at what we got. Shout out to Nick Luchetti. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And look at that. Zippy DSM Lee coming through with another 2. Said modern liberals. Oh, we got that here. Modern liberals are not liberals. If it's tyrannical, it's not liberalism. I've come to the point. Modern liberals are wannabe slaves. Sounds like it. It sounds like it. And guys, that means that we just hit our first Swole stream goal. Who's doing it with me? Who's gonna pay their self? Who is gonna pay themselves? Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's do it. 20 push-ups, guys. Pay yourself. Pay yourself. Let's go. Let's go. If you can't do 20, do as many as you can. Do as many as you can. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Nice and tight. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 1 for good luck. There we go. There we go. Since I might have to do another 20, I was like, let me flex on the next one. Flex on the next one. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for helping bulk me up. And hopefully you guys are also paying yourselves. Hell yeah, guys. That is how we do it. That is definitely do it a little bit at a time, and we will make it happen. Thank you so very, very much. And again, we are very close to more, and I got another 20 on me. I might need to take a break and catch my breath, but we will definitely do it. And hey, we got our boy Funk Master General again. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. And for the Overlord, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. I'll come back to that, Carl. Balthasar said, I feel welcome. Well, you are welcome. Very glad to have you. Yeah, if you already have a workout routine, if you're already, doing crazy work for your work like that, then you do what's good. But obviously I'm a skinny little nothing. So I need y'all's help. And you are doing it. So thank you. Gonzag said, I had to run over from putting weary groceries to get my 20 push-ups in, and it's done. That's how you do it. There you go. Thank you guys very, 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 very much. All right. Luke, so can we take the old practice when somebody is talking off the wall or straight out stupid, then instead of listening to them or giving them a TV channel, we can tell them to shut up. You're just saying it would be better for everyone if we didn't listen to the village idiot. I mean, true, but people are following the village idiot. And so that advice is kind of needed. So, if we just tell everybody to shut up who has an issue, then they're just going to get mad and burn shit down. So I'm definitely open to listening. So let's dive back, and thank you so very, very much, guys. And really quick, let's do a dilly to all of you. Love ya very, very much, guys. And again, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, but I also go live whenever I feel like it. So hit the subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. All right, let's back this up a little bit.
And then the police, I was in my hometown where this guy, well, it was a city over in Sylvester. It's about 15 minutes away from my hometown. This guy got killed by a police by mistake.
The propaganda, I assume.
He was driving and the guy was walking and the police hit him with the car. The idea was that the guy was already dead after the police hit him, but the coroner gets there and mistakenly runs over the guy's body and then backs up over the guy's body or whatever like that, and they didn't know whether he was dead or not before the coroner came and hit him or whatever. Wow. So the idea, so anyway, fast forward through all that, they gave us all the case files, etc., because I said with the family that we were going to do a protest. This was in the middle of George Floyd too, by the way.
So when there's a person on TV that is ranting about the things they have no clue about, we shouldn't be listening to them. We should tell them to go stand in the corner because adults are talking. Unless they already have influence. Unless they already have people listening to them. Because if if you have somebody who has a lot of influence and you just tell them to shut up and then they don't, and then everybody still listens to them, then that's not ideal. Looks as I can think of two village idiots. What is the vice president and what is the current president who got impeached? And then how about the collection of babbling idiots that call themselves The View? What does that have to do with what we're talking about? Nick said I paid myself $25. There you go. And oh my goodness. Round two already. So I'm gonna just do it, get it over with. Let's get it. A treat for Morty, of course. Let's bring the music back up. Let's go! Another one. Here we go. You can do it. There we go, guys. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple, and we done doing it. The BDSM please with another $10. My goodness, guys. The blessings, they do not end. Thank you so very, very much, guys. It's more than just the the money or the push up. Really a big thing in my life to be able to have that routine, and you guys are really helping with that. So thank you. All right, what did we miss here? Okay, so we got that. And Sarah's so Luke was talking about the View and the current presidents. Sarah said no one has the freedom not to listen. Agreed. As well as the idiot should have the freedom to speak his or her nonsense. That's free speech, baby. And said the View are worse than idiots. They're rancid cunts. Indeed. Openly lying and making fun of the fact. They're like, oh no, we gotta tell the truth so we don't get sued. How about you just don't lie? Luke said, no, not if they have an issue. Just if they're not bringing anything to discussion. I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of a different conversation than we're having. Well, we are talking about the Black community. I don't know. Luke's just talking about people who, talk too much, which again, I agree with, but not really. Wait, 32 in total? Because I just did what, 46. So fuck you, and don't count if you do it after, because now you finished. So fuck you, bitch. Sarah Marie said, unless someone is threatening to unalive, if one wants to honor freedom of speech, everything should be allowed to be uttered. It's up to the next to choose how to react. Indeed. Agreed. So if you give somebody influence who has no idea what they're talking about, nobody's arguing with that, bro. Carl said, if a show is going to call themselves The View, they should at least be attractive women. Agreed. I would love to do that, but copyright is not friendly over here. All right, dive back in. Yeah. Play.
Case filed, etc. Because I said with the family that we were going to do a protest. This was in the middle of George Floyd too, by the way. I said we were going to do a protest, down there, because I'm just like, no, we need more information about it. Like, this don't make no sense or whatever like that. So before we did the protest, we sat down with the DA. I'm not a lawyer or nothing, but they sat us down. They gave us every case file on that thing, from the toxicology reports or the officers. So they gave us everything.
Are you addressing this to me? Are you saying instead of me complaining about problems that I should quit feeding into problems? Or are you just saying this in general? Because if you're talking about me, then that's a very different discussion. But again, nobody's arguing with you. We all agree.
They sat us down. They gave us every case file on that thing, from the toxicology reports or the officers. So they gave us everything. So once we got all the information, I gave it back to the family, and the family was satisfied. I told the public, I'm like, well, we're not going to do a protest anymore. I'm like, because we got everything we needed. So people were upset about it or whatever like that. I'll never forget the sheriff of that town where we were going to do the protest. He made a post on social media and basically took pictures and said there had been bricks and rocks, etc., sat all around the city. I still have the post. I'm so glad I canceled it, because they would have been on my behind about that. But there were bricks, rocks, everything sat all around the city where glass was and everything. They was like, we don't know about this protest. It's supposed to be happening. But I made sure I said, listen, we're not going to be there.
Right.
So if all my people don't show up. But for him to say that, I knew for a fact during George Floyd protests, they were sending people around to these different communities just to destroy, so things would get worse.
There were a bunch of
Tyler Oliveira just did a video going back to Minneapolis and all that stuff, and exactly what he's saying, exactly what King is saying. It was all local businesses, and they all got destroyed. It's like, how is this helping anybody? And they weren't destroyed by the locals. People would drive in to take advantage.
Viral claims that during these protests, there were big pallets of bricks.
Oh, yep.
Everywhere.
That's exactly what he said.
The corporate press was just like, these are normal pallet deliveries for construction. And then your story's crazy because
I still got the post.
This
He
is-
literally said they were sat everywhere all around the city. Mind you, this is a small country town, a very small country town, like with one railroad and like no, like the courthouse, like they used to hang people on it. Like it's super old. Like, so it's not even a developed city at all, like by no circumstance. And so for him the sheriff to go post that all of these bricks and stuff were sat everywhere, but the day before we counsel was crazy.
That's the reason why I'm saying I can never fully. Again, I'm always going to acknowledge the individual, right, and the individual's choice.
Yep.
But I can't let that. It starts to look like the system curates this thing to make all of the blame only be on the individual,
right?
Not any of the conditions. It's like saying, okay, you guys could ignore these bricks and pallets of bricks and all of this that's there. You could, but we didn't give you all of the information on the case files. We unequivocally withheld information that would have changed an objective thinker's thought process.
Right.
Then we highlighted and took advantage of some legitimate anger that you may have about things in this community. We highlighted your anger, we turned you up, and then we dropped these pallets off. For me, I can be critical of the people in the community, but I gotta also sit back and go, bro, y'all dropped the bricks off and y'all run the media.
Correct.
So it becomes like you got to have that two-way conversation all of the time, because if you don't, you fall victim on one of the two sides. You go, you're only blaming the system and not your individual accountability. Or the other side becomes,
oh, come on, hold on. What's happening here? Oh, come on. We're frozen. All right,
you're only blaming the individual. And it's almost like saying right now.
We good? All right. I was going to say something. What did you just
become the two sides?
Yeah. So this idea about individuality, and we absolutely are people who want to have individual accountability for everybody. That doesn't mean that there's not environmental factors or outside factors that do affect how people behave. That doesn't mean we're excusing everything that we don't like because somebody had a bad life or something, but that is a factor. And if we ignore it, we're just not going to be able to understand what we want to understand. Toxic masculinity. How dare you?
How dare you?
Two-way conversation all of the time, because if you don't, you fall victim on one of the two sides. You go, you're only blaming the system and not
wait a minute. Individual. Are you calling somebody dumb and
accountability? Or the other side becomes you're only blaming the individual. And it's almost like saying right now, the Biden administration thinking about blanket pardons for Fauci and a couple of other folks, right? I thought you saved the world, bro.
Right.
If you saved the world,
what you need a pardon for?
Should be throwing you a celebration.
Right.
The conversation then becomes, okay, Fauci is an individual that's been grimy since the HIV thing back in the day, right? We can look at Fauci, but we also got
crazy how easily people were willing to just forget about the entire AIDS epidemic, whatever you want to call it.
Got to look at a system that goes, we got our prophets. Let's go ahead and give them the blanket. Yeah, I mean, when you don't do one or the other, you're leaving yourself open to the other side. And I think when it comes to Black communities more specifically, because it's such a structured way of making it look invisible, we just go, well, y'all just doing it. You're not talking about the health component. Yep. You're not talking about the fact, like blood pressure.
It is a conversation, but see, I'm running a show, and this conversation is not that conversation. So you're free to have that conversation, but that's not what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to stop the show where I'm talking about a thing to talk about your thing. If you want to talk about your thing, you can start a YouTube channel. It's free, but this is my YouTube channel. And I want to talk about this today. So you're talking about people on TV and saying things and kids who, people who, that's not relevant to what we're talking about.
All just doing it. You're not talking about the health component. Yep. You're not talking about the fact, like blood pressure. It ain't just because Black people got a genetic predisposition to have fucking high blood pressure.
Bro.
Y'all are putting things in the food and targeting them into specific communities. Again, that still doesn't mean, man, Whole Foods up the street, bro. Like you could still get to a healthy option.
Exactly. Nuance that there are environmental factors that affect people materially. That doesn't take away your agency.
went to see my coroner the other day because I wanted to ask the coroner why are people dying in Albany just in general, because obviously they only post, you know, homicides and stuff like that. I'm like, what other? He was like hypertension, you know, heart disease, etc. He was like mainly because people won't get up and go walk, people sit in front of the TV all day, etc., etc. And he was like, food got something to do with it. He was like, mainly it's
yeah, true. Discord is free 24/7. You can go have that conversation right now.
It's no physical movement, which is causing blood clots, etc., etc. So he was like, literally, I'm picking up people every day, heart disease, high blood pressure. This is my hometown.
Yeah,
like nobody's talking about these statistics or whatever like that. But you know, we got a food desert over in that community too. Because
are you under the impression that because I've set all of this up and spent my time and money to do this, that because you've just showed up, that you're entitled to drive the conversation? Is that what you think? Because that's not how it works.
Because like there are no access to grocery stores in a, you know, close radius or anything. And the one grocery store they do have obviously is super cheap stuff or whatever just for them to get. But everything that's over there for them to eat, Popeyes, McDonald's, the Chinese joint or whatever like that. But it's all, and they run down by the way, but people gotta eat there because that's the closest thing they can get to.
So I generally agree with Balthazar here that Maj is mostly correct, but the food problem has I wouldn't say nothing, because again, we understand that it is a class issue. But there are more, there is a higher percentage of Black people in the lower classes. So I wouldn't say it has nothing to do with race. It's tangentially related, but there's certainly not a causal factor there. I wouldn't put a causal factor there.
Joint or whatever like that. But it's all, and they run down by the way, but people got to eat there because that's the closest thing they can get to. Most of them don't have cars.
And the other argument becomes where it becomes systemic. And I know, again, I know the viewers going to get mad at me for saying this. You give subsidies and tax abatements to some of those companies or like the Chinese stores in the hood. Every 5 to 10 years, it's a new Chinese dude.
Mm-hmm.
You see the one Chinese dude for 5 years, 10 years. Then after that, it's another because they done switched their license and they got a new tax re-up.
Right.
It becomes a thing where like you cannot ignore the fact that you are incentivizing this in certain communities.
You know what I find?
I'm just hearing about this, so I have no idea here. But that doesn't necessarily sound like a bad thing. Does anybody understand why that would be inherently bad? That just sounds like, you know, the same way rich people take advantage of different tax loopholes and shit. Sounds like the same thing. I don't know what that would have to do with racism and that stuff. Shout out to Unwanted Foe. Look at his head pop right up. He knows. Unwanted Foe said the Overlord looks a little hungry. Hungry he is. Always. I told you guys about when we were coming home from my sister's wedding when he was sick, and he was just chilling in the back seat, like barely able to do anything. And you know, usually when I if he's in the car and I'm at a gas station or a drive-through, then he doesn't like, you know, people reaching into the car. It triggers him. And so usually I'll have him in my lap and hold him while either I'm, you know, getting my food or whatever, my gas thing's on the other side. But that time I thought because he was so sick and so run down that like he was fine. But nope, that gas attendant, again, Jersey, gas attendant comes up to take my card. As the most energy he'd expound in the last 2 days just because he saw that. So I'm hoping that fire is gonna keep him alive just a little bit longer. Thank you again, Unwanted Foe. Samarie said, one big mistake is believing to know truth in the first place. There's simply no such thing as one truth. Those wanting to silence others are the most ignorant. I agree with the last part, but I don't think I necessarily agree that there is simply no such thing as one truth. I do believe in objective truth. Funkmaster General said, nice try. I've been trying to get him to do a show where... yeah, I ain't doing that. All right, this is your last chance, Luke. If we're having the conversation, I'm happy to have the conversation, but you're not going to derail my show. Luke said, I didn't say one true. I said truth. Oh, are you guys talking to each other? Have fun. All right.
Ignore the fact that you are incentivizing this in certain communities.
You know what I find though? Like you were saying with that video you made about Hamlet over Kamala, Hamlet over Trump, and the left loses their minds.
Yeah.
I mean, that like exemplifies so much of the culture war, I guess.
Yeah.
I sit down with Trump supporters years ago.
Yeah.
And MAGA hat wearing white dudes with button-up shirts, all talking about God and all that stuff. And then they said all this racism and white supremacy stuff, these people are lying about everything. And I was like, well, you know, like blockbusting and redlining is a real thing.
Right.
It actually happened.
Mhm.
And they said, and I'm literally, this is a true story. It happened in many instances, but I was hanging out, I think it was in the Bay Area with like 12 prominent Trump supporters. And I was like, yeah, like it was made illegal in the 80s and they still keep doing it.
Mhm.
And the funny thing is you go and talk to these woke activists, these uppity liberals who own real estate, and they'll tell you they do it.
Right.
So just real quick, for those that don't know, redlining, it gets its name from Chicago, where the real estate companies wouldn't sell property to black families outside of this area by the red line, creating this one area.
Mhm.
And then blockbusting is when they would move in black families intentionally, then go around to all of the white families and say, there goes the neighborhood.
Mhm.
Yep.
They would get scared and sell their houses at a loss. They'd buy it all up. Then they move the black family out and sell it at a premium. This happened until the 80s.
Sounds like good business. Jokes. It's racist, but it isn't. But it isn't bad business.
Like structurally, it was a legal practice and people were doing it. They knew they were doing it. They made it illegal. They still do it.
Yep.
So I have this funny story I love to tell about this woke activist. She was a Latina.
Mhm.
Her dad owns real estate in New York. She inherited a building in New York. And so we're talking about this, and this is 2014.
Dilly dilly. Good one.
Did a building in New York. And so we're talking about this, and this is 2014. I'm working at Fusion. This is a woke company. She's woke as they come. And I'm like, if a black family moved next door to your property, would you sell? She goes, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, why? And she goes, because it's going to lose value. I got to protect my assets. And I was like, so aren't you a part of that systemic racism? And she's like, I don't care.
See?
I don't care. Shout out to Behave. Thank you so much for coming through. You have a good one.
They don't care, dude. It's their money.
And that's
Money
the
talks.
And that's the part that you gotta look at. And again, it's not to absolve the individual. Because like my argument with gentrification, it becomes like, oh, they coming in here and they buying.
That's a word that you don't hear as much. That's a word that you don't hear as much anymore. Gentrification. It kind of is going not in the opposite, I guess, but great replacement.
And it's such and such, bro. You Granny House was there for however long. You put interior paint on the exterior. Like, come on, bro. You had an individual participation in the down, the decrease of the value. But we cannot ignore the fact that some of these things are systems designed that way. When
double-edged sword.
If I go to the place and I start doing the right thing, if you are saying, hey, we got this school, we got this, and then the community politicians then say, no, King, you can't, which has happened to you. No, you can't do it. You've already shown improve your work. At a certain point, it becomes systemic. When you want to talk about culture shifts, excellence, black, white, Spanish, whatever, it's always going to land you at the bigotry that is justified and sanctioned by the state. You gotta land there, because then it's easier for me to check main man doing the individual wrong thing when I go, government can't make that red line situation. And then if that person isn't in that horrible environment that the state sanctioned to be there, that person's environment changes, the mentality of that person changes.
Yeah, and again, it's not an excuse, it's just a real factor. Shout out again to Funkmaster General. Forgot to update the banner as always, but thank you. Where we at here? Carl said Africa is completely dysfunctional. Majority black neighborhoods are also usually completely dysfunctional. The ghetto. Is it possible black people are just more violent and dysfunctional? It's possible. I don't think that that is the case. But sure, believe nothing except that anything is possible. But no, I don't think so. Zippy said, hard to do the right thing when the city does not like it when you do nice things. Bingo. Exactly. That doesn't mean you should not do right. You shouldn't do right things or nice things. It doesn't mean that you should do bad things. But the factors are there. Sarah Marie said, I still cringe to the fact that I'm actually originally a leftist. Currently politically homeless, still seeing how the left has evolved, I'm embarrassed to say the least. I mean, I was never a leftist, but I was definitely, I was a Bernie bro and I voted for Hillary. So there's plenty of shame to go around. Is this me? Prince wasn't used to anyone disagreeing with him except MJ. If it's me, right over my head. Yeah, but that's why Occam's razor tends to be correct, not is correct. So that's just an oversimplification, in my personal, humble opinion.
State sanctioned to be there. That person's environment changes, the mentality of that person changes.
You know what the irony of all of this is really funny? The reason why a lot of people on the right don't believe this is because they're like, what? If a black family moved next to me, I'm not moving. That's stupid.
Right.
And the white liberals are like, yeah, I'd move too.
It's happening.
Right. It's because it's not happening to them directly. It's not happening at all. And that's something I do have trouble with the right with. I'm like, listen, even though you haven't seen it, you may not have experienced it.
Yeah,
it's happening. So, but I need you to realize that.
Yeah.
It's funny because you've basically got, black people saying to the Trump supporters, like, please, the liberals are extremely racist. Right. And they're like, I don't believe that people would actually do this or the systems would do this. And it's a projection. A lot of these working class, rural conservative types, middle of the road liberal people who end up voting for Donald Trump can't imagine in their mind someone behaving that way. They're like, that makes no sense. Why would how could you even afford to move? But these upscale liberals living in these wealthy neighborhoods, they know they will do that in a heartbeat.
The reason why
projection. That's not a direct projection, but it is projection. It is projection. I didn't get this right. I think I didn't get it either way. Morty deserves a treat. Shout out to Zippy DSM Lee with a $10 Rumble rant. Yeah, I definitely did get to that. Thank you so very much. No question, no comment, just the amount of money that was sent. Very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Balthazar said, race is immaterial. Culture plays a large role, but it is the individual that is most important. Absolutely. And so, yeah, we can hold, I don't want to say conflicted, but two different ideas at the same time. That culture plays a large role, and that the individual is the most part. That doesn't mean that. I still don't think that race is immaterial. It's just way less significant than anybody makes it seem. Carl said, I think cultural plays in, but I think racial tendencies due to genetics might influence culture. Okay.
The liberals living in these wealthy neighborhoods, they know they will do that in a heartbeat.
The reason why the Trump supporter in the middle of the road didn't believe it for so long is because they wasn't listening to black people.
Absolutely.
Black people have been telling across, and not to offend the MAGA folks, right?
How dare
the hood has been telling you for a bajillion years.
Yep.
And I say this because I don't ever want anybody to catch unnecessary charges. I've been accused falsely of things. It's just wild. But it almost low-key took for Trump to run through that for certain people to go, wait a minute. I think my black friend was telling me something like this kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's that James Franco meme at this point. It's like first time.
What do you guys think about that? Actually, let's just do a poll. Agree or disagree? And on what I just said, and I'll play it again. Agree or disagree? It's an interesting thought. I've never really heard it articulated that way. So let's see. Let's run that back.
Say it cross in because that in a heartbeat. Black people.
Absolutely.
The Trump supporter in the middle of the road didn't believe it for so long is because they wasn't listening to black people.
Absolutely.
Black people have been telling across, and not to offend the MAGA folks, right? The hood has been telling you for a bajillion years.
Yep.
And I say this because I don't ever want anybody to catch unnecessary charges. I've been accused falsely of things. It's just wild. But it almost low-key took for Trump to run through that for certain people to go, wait a minute. I think my black friend was telling me something like this kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's that James Franco meme at this point. It's like first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It becomes like, yeah, clearly these cases are trash.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that. I mean, maybe this speaks to the fact that I am more politically homeless. Didn't grow up a Republican, but I feel like that was always the mentality that the justice system is fucked you have more money and you're able to get out of whatever. Well, if you're poor, then you can get locked up for bullshit. Maybe what he's saying is that maybe he's including people like myself. I don't want to speak for any of you, but I assume you guys have similar mentalities. Maybe he's including us in that and saying, like, Sally, who lives in the Midwest, who doesn't know any in a nice suburb in the Midwest, just believes that the courts are perfect. Maybe that's what he's saying. Went to Bo said, none of my black friends have ever lived in the hood, so no idea. Well, I mean, the question is about race and not class. So according to what he's saying, it's not about whether they lived in the hood. It's about the fact that they're black. Well, is he? No. Yeah. And this, I mean, he was touching on that, in the last point about how it's the environment. But on this specific point, let's hear it one more time.
Everyone for a bajillion years.
Yep.
And I say this because I don't ever want anybody to catch unnecessary charges. I've been accused falsely of things. It's just wild. But it almost low-key took for Trump to run through that for certain people to go, wait a minute. I think my black friend was telling me something like this kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's that James Franco meme at this point. It's like first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's that. Maybe he's just speaking in a more narrow group and not and just threw MAGA out there, because I've been arrested 3 times. I've been through the system. I have white friends who've been through the system. I don't know, but you guys seem to be agreeing. So maybe I'm just more hood than y'all ever knew.
I'm saying it becomes like, yeah. Clearly, these cases are trash.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, they're targeting a person unnecessarily. This is what the Black Panther Party has been saying. This is what the early stages of people in that Ferguson movement, because I went down there to talk to Darren Seals, God bless him. Darren Seals, his girl, he passed at that time. But I went to talk to his family, his girlfriend, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were like, look, the police brutality thing is just wild here.
Yep.
And when we were saying it, it was almost like, bro, you just don't want to take individual accountability. Just do the right thing and nothing will happen. Now that people in...
Okay, now that he's talking about that I don't really think is a large... I think that we generally agree with that if you don't do if you do the right thing, nothing will happen to you in general, but that the government still could fuck you over for whatever reason. And so, yeah, it does sound like he's not talking about us not listening to black people, I think.
Communities all across the country are saying, well, let's end qualified immunity for police. Not that you just get a blanket whatever, but at the same time, if you do something wrong, that come out of your money, not the tax budget, right?
Balthazar said, I've been pushing the fact that most law enforcement is corrupted for a long time to conservatives for a long time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe I guess he is not just saying MAGA doesn't listen to black people. I think he's saying there is there's a subsection of people who had too much trust in the system, and they were on the right, and they needed to see Trump specifically go through that system. And again, I still don't know about that, because we had Chauvin. I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse went the right way, but I don't know. We'll see. Zippy says MAGA is less likely to get randomly arrested on false charges. Well, maybe not in the past 5 years of crazier gun laws. Summary said, if MAGA is arrested, the charges are most likely true indeed. I and a bunch of J6ers would disagree with you. Carl said, cops will be happy to take anyone to jail if it makes their job easier. That's all it is. It's not racial. Yep. Nick said, I was never naive enough to think that just because I wasn't seeing it, it didn't mean racism. Just because I wasn't seeing it, it didn't mean racism, sexism, and other messed up things don't exist. I know, unfortunately, they do exist. Yeah, I agree. I'm not willing to say like, oh yeah, racism is done. That's not a thing anymore. Like clearly it is. I had my own experiences with it in front of you guys on the not this particular show, but on this channel. And I'm not crying about it, but it's there. Zippy said, and what is Q1 quarter one? If you make an illegal law, qualified immunity. If you make an illegal law, you should pay for the damages it creates. Elaborate. What do you mean? I'm not sure. About this, are saying the corruption of law enforcement does not change, only the political affiliation of the victims, depending on the state. That's hard. That's a bar.
Whatever. But at the same time, if you do something wrong, that come out of your money, not the tax budget, right? Then everybody got up in arms and went, well, why do we need to? And then when we said, well, if you don't do anything wrong, then you're fine. It just seems like conservatives, and in my experience now as a libertarian for years now, weren't really listening when people was telling them, weren't going, there may be something to this.
So his point would be 1,000% on point if he just said, instead of weren't listening to black people, weren't listening to the people who've actually been through the system. That's how you deliver your message.
Do you know what going on tour in Ferguson is? Going on tour in St. Louis?
Yep.
So this was, people don't, I would tell people, hey, there's a such thing as like structural racism, whatever, right?
Yeah.
However you want to describe it. And it's actually pretty easy to understand. In St. Louis, the city itself is actually really small.
Mm-hmm.
There's something like 99 jurisdictions built up around it. So what makes St. Louis is actually a whole bunch of really small suburban enclaves.
Like Atlanta.
A lot of those were built because of, so Pruitt-Igoe was the name of urban development housing that was done, I think it was in the 60s, intending to help poor black families have a place to live. They said, oh, this will solve the problem with these big complexes. Then they basically abandoned them and they start falling apart. People get hurt, people get sick. There's a lot of crime in the area. There's a lot of poverty in the area, cultural decay. So white people are like, we don't want to live around this. This is a problem and a mistake. Crime's getting up way too high. So they started moving and creating new suburban enclaves, which creates this wave of small cities in the St. Louis area. So it's not that the cop is racist. It's not that the court is racist. It's that there were systems in place due to racial tensions that resulted in a system. So when the cop pulls over a black dude and says, look, man, you got a busted taillight. I don't know what to tell you. He's not doing it because the guy's black. He's doing it because busted taillight. Right. The problem is these jurisdictions are set up to where you get something called going on tour. And this is what the guys in Ferguson were telling us. Like, because we went to a couple of these families. We asked them, why are you guys having trouble with the law? And
I remember him talking about going on tour, but I don't remember what exactly it is. And guys, we are past the 2-hour mark. So if you would like the party to keep raging, you know how to do it.
A couple of stories we heard was like, my license plate expired. And it was something like $30 to take it. I had to take time off work to go to the DMV and figure out what the problem was because I don't really know. Then I got to pay the fee and I can't. So now I'm trying to figure out, am I going to go back to my job? I can't lose my job. I got to pay rent. I got to pay for food. So I didn't get my license plate renewed. And what happens? From his house to his job was 4 different jurisdictions, 4 different cities. He gets pulled over in the first one, in the first mile. And the guys, and the cop's like, look, man, it is what it is. You should have done it. It's a $20 ticket. No big deal. He drives a mile, gets pulled over again. Sorry, man. And he goes, but look, I already got a ticket for it. Well, I don't want to tell you. Here's
different city.
Different city.
Yep.
So he was like,
really? I from what I understand there, and I don't understand it very well, but I've certainly gotten tickets for things like expired insurance or something kind of innocuous like that, or like, a light was out. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I got the ticket and then I got pulled over again before I was able to fix it. And they saw within their computer that I'd already gotten a ticket. And I think there's supposed to be some sort of grace period. I mean, that could have just been, my luck. I don't know, but not sure. Heading out about this hour. Thank you so very much for subscribing, and I will definitely see you later. And hey, remember, even if you're not super familiar with Discord, we will walk you through it. It is a great time. Definitely come and join us. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Sarah Marie with the super sticker. Oh, a little. Is that supposed to be a puppy or a kitty? It's cute either way. It's just not as cute as the Overlord. Thank you. So very, very much. Are you saying the same stuff here, or are you saying different stuff? Zippy said, right delayed or delayed or denied. What are we saying here? A right delayed. Oh, I'm sorry. A right delayed is equal to killing people. Gun law and state censorship is illegal. If the state gets caught enforcing unconstitutional laws, lawmakers should pay for crimes against citizens. A right delayed or what? What does this mean? Well, a right delayed or delayed? Are you trying to say something different? But yeah, I agree with you. I think that there is we absolutely need that level of accountability. I worry about what happens when even if you don't believe that qualified immunity should have ever been a thing, the idea that it is a thing and then you're taking it away, that is going to affect how these people do their jobs. And I don't know. We'll definitely have to talk more deeply about that. But we will see. Okay, denied or delayed. So right, denied or delayed is equal to killing people. Fair enough. I'm with you. We got it. Yay, puppies or a fox. But we'll call it a puppy. We'll call it a puppy. We like the puppies.
You got a ticket for it. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Here's
Different city.
Yep. So he was like, friends of ours will get 4 tickets for one thing, and we already couldn't pay for it. We're already
now that I'm thinking, it was within the same county, so maybe that's why with my ticket.
Struggling, and we have to make those decisions, and it's impossible. Do you feed your kids, or do you like get your license plate, your taillight fixed?
Yeah, right.
And so then they don't pay it. Because they're like, dude, I couldn't pay for the taillight to get fixed in the first place. I certainly couldn't pay the $35 times 4. Right. I don't have this money. So what happens? They get pulled over. There's a warrant for your arrest. Don't worry. It's a minor infraction. So they go to jail. It's for one day. It's overnight. As soon as they get out the next day, the other police department's waiting right outside saying, we were waiting for you because you got a warrant too.
Yep.
They go on tour. Every time they get out of a police station, they get taken to the next police station. The cops aren't doing it going, wow, we hate black people.
The blacks.
They're doing it because they're like, hey, look, man, you had a busted taillight and you get a ticket. It's a moving violation. However, these systems were set up at a time when there was overt segregation and racist policies and covenants that were put in place.
Right.
Some of these places literally had policies saying black people weren't allowed to live there.
Right.
They make that illegal in the late 60s. They get rid of they make blockbusting and redlining illegal in the 80s, and those structures still exist. Where now, for non-racial reasons, there's a ramification from past racial reasons.
But do we need? I have this argument often. She's lefty, but her book is amazing. The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander.
I have that book. Yeah.
I've heard of this before. The book.
I don't need it for you to overtly go, it's because we don't like you blacks. If the outcome is exactly the same result, okay, now it's the same. This guy's going on tour. This guy's losing his job. Yep. This guy still probably might lose his house. Now it's like, hey, bro, you in jail all the time. What's wrong with you? Now you a social pariah. My point in saying all of this is, I don't need it to be. I just need people to start acknowledging and overturning these systems. I don't need you to go, well, that whole Nuremberg defense, I'm just doing my job. Like, your job was created and that system was created to do the exact same thing that's happening right now. I don't care if you're calling me nigga or not as you do it.
Facts. It's not just it's not just about the core racism of throwing out slurs. It's a lot deeper than that. And I think when we are able to understand that, then we can we first understand it. Then we have the subsequent argument to say, well, this is why this is not an excuse for you to be a shitty person. But if we don't address the argument, then, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. I missed this one. Carl said, I look at a place like Somalia and I'm okay with rules and cops pulling people over. It's better than the alternative. I mean, not sure what's going on in Somalia, but generally agreed. Zippy said, qualified immunity only ever affects cops. For lawmakers, you'd need a new law, but there's no reason not to vet things with the Constitution. There's no need to pass a law that's illegal. Our whole system of governance is backwards. Indeed. So I can't read QI without thinking of my favorite programs on BBC. Is it just called QI? Or is it like questioning the insurrection?
And that's the part where people got to just start being honest about and not having to experience one of your own, right? All of the Trump folks is now going like, oh man, because your guy. And I rock with Trump. The Art of the Deal was one of the first real books that I read in high school. I don't need you. We shouldn't have to get for one of your guys that's already a multi-billionaire to have to go through this, and you're ignoring other Americans saying these things are wrong from the gate. Mm-hmm. That's the part where we start to lose. It becomes like we got to have the most dire, extreme scenario happen for people to listen to other Americans.
You know, I think the big problem is with the left, maybe not the big problem, but a big problem is that their response to these things was to just insult white people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, look, man, there's like some working class dude who lives in the suburbs of Ohio, who has no idea what you're talking about in Ferguson. So if you come out now and say white people are bad and white people are doing these things, that guy's going like, why are you yelling at me, man? I don't even know you.
Right.
So we end up seeing like all of this major cultural phenomenon with wokeness, where they start doing ridiculous things. Like they make the Black Panther movie, the Marvel one, and they call it diverse.
Oh, I was like, when did Marvel? Black Panther. Oh, okay. Took me a second.
Things like they make the Black Panther movie, the Marvel one, and they call it diverse.
Right.
It's like, shut up.
Right.
It's a 98% black cast. That's fine. The movie's based in Africa and about black characters.
Right.
But don't call it diverse and then have all the white people going up and clapping for themselves and patting each other on the back.
Yeah, I remember in Am I Racist, where it's like, all these are diverse authors. And it's like, what's a diverse author? Like, like gay or black or a woman or anything but a white male. Quite interesting, that is. Quite interesting indeed.
Right. But don't call it diverse and then have all the white people going up and clapping for themselves and patting each other on the back. They ended up just doing more racist stuff and then acting like they weren't racist.
Because
that's the game plan.
I am of the belief, man. This is gonna sound really mean. And I love you all. I love you all. The Democrats, Republicans.
Do you know? Let's see.
I love you all.
Be mean.
I believe extreme leftists that usually identify as Democrats, if we're talking about spiritual, you are agents of Satan.
I agree.
I don't believe in Satan, but if we're using that as a stand-in for all that is evil within the universe, great. Qualified immunity. Qualified immunity. So essentially, there is I don't know the letter of the law, but essentially the idea that a cop doing something like kind of on the line, they'll always go with the cop's discretion. And the reason for that is that they don't want law enforcement to be in a situation where they need to make a heat of the moment decision. And they're thinking about like, well, is this going to come back on me and then not help the public? So that's the idea behind it. But of course, when we see that cops are just people and they are, the bottom rung of the establishment, maybe that's not ideal. But I don't think it's as simple as just, oh, they shouldn't have it or they should have it. Because the same exact thing that they just put into place with presidential immunity, I didn't hear anybody getting mad about that unless they were on the left. So I don't know. It's and again, I personally don't know that much about it to be able to determine, we should or we should not. So it's definitely a conversation. Maybe we'll do a stream on. Defoe said diverse author, biologically female, gender fluid, red femme lesbian who's black, Native American, and Hispanic. Nah.
You're a devil. You're a devil.
And they know it.
And I think these people up here know it. And I think the trickle down, and then they start to learn, and then they get inculcated to it, like that white liberal that goes, absolutely, I'm moving and getting away from the black folk.
Yep.
On the surface, every Hollywood movie, especially like in the 80s, remember how like all of the villains were like, oh, that's such and such. He's a philanthropist. He's the nicest person. And then behind closed doors, he's like the villain.
Yeah.
Wait, hey, whoa. Who's a better Jesus than Lutch? Ain't no better Jesus than Lutch. I'll give it, if there was an actual Jesus Christ, then fine, he's better than me. But other than that, I am the best Jesus of all time.
That is, if we had to personify what a devil is, that's what those type of liberals are. And then you identify with a party that has done.
I missed a bunch of these. What's going on here? I'll come back to this. Zippy Nick verse said the most conservative Christian people I know are a mixed racial couple. He's black, she's white, and they're two of the best people I have ever known. Well, shout out to them. And so, Zippy says qualified immunity, a legal concept where cops cannot be easily sued in civil courts. It's law that snuck in via precedent, and it has no real founding in law books. Legal precedent when the courts made a ruling, thus there's no need to relook at the themes involved in the case. So protection for exactly same kind of thing. Just like president pardoning their own son, for example. Kind of, where it's like you can just do what you want. Now that is, I mean, the Hunter pardon just really doesn't have any justification. Now, you can agree or disagree with the idea of qualified immunity, but at least there is an argument on both sides. Pardoning Hunter is just like, I'm just doing me. I'm taking me. And like, fair enough. Like, again, if I was a father and I had the ability to do that, I would as well. And I think a lot of you would too. But that doesn't change the fact that it's not okay. Yep. Good one. Come on, man.
That's what those type of liberals are. And then you identify with a party that has done some of the, if not the most devilish, satanic things in the universe. So at a certain point, I start to go, you're not unaware of this. Now, again, They may be comfortable enough, right? They go, well, I can tell Tim. I absolutely would get rid of they might not say the N-word publicly, but at
the undesirables.
At the same time, they are 1,000% complicit with a system that is designed to destroy their fellow American. These are the same people that will struggle with, you got a problem with an American flag.
But it's.
Did he say that? Trump said he would pardon Hunter? That's interesting. I think that would have. Well, okay. No. Now that I thought about it for half a second, it's like, well, if he's gonna get pardoned anyway, then I'm not giving you the win. So I guess that makes sense.
You know, projection is a result of people only knowing what they know. Mm-hmm. And so for a lot of these regular working class Joes of any background, many of whom shifted heavily towards Donald Trump, including the white Trump base, they often don't believe this because it's not within them to do. These uppity leftists and liberals who outright go around screaming white supremacy is everywhere they're confessing.
You're the white supremacy.
They're saying that they know in their heart they have these feelings. That's why we've long called them white supremacists with guilty consciences.
And again, this I cannot. I don't even know what the word is, but I cannot say enough about how important a movie like Am I Racist is. Not because it's so amazing, entertaining, not because it's so groundbreaking in what is being exposed, but because it creates a standard where it's like we can't, you no longer can say that this has its merits here, and here, because we saw it with our own eyes, and it's all bullshit. Trump could have made the deal to pardon Hunter if he gave some kind of info on the Clintons. The big guy definitely has something on the Clintons and the Epsteins. That would be epic. But of course, come on, man. Joe Biden getting in the way of everything. How dare you?
Things That's why we've long called them white supremacists with guilty consciences.
So basically, Tim,
shirt.
you're calling white liberals white devils.
That's a shirt.
I mean, I call, I draw the distinction at, like you mentioned, up here and down here. Like the high level people, oh, dude, I think they're evil.
Yeah.
I think they're outright nihilistic. They think only they matter. Nothing else matters for anybody else. They sow divisions for money. They lie, cheat, and steal. And they got a bunch of people duped who are not smart enough to realize or too disinterested. And they think they're good people on the right side of history, as they call it. It was a cold wake-up call for them on election day when they realized they weren't. And a lot of them panicked.
Yeah, I think too many of the general public that it's like my gay homies, right? They're gay. Gay. But then it's
all I know about him is that he's gay. Gay.
Far that they like, bro, what's this kid doing in here?
Yeah, right.
Right. Like, what you doing?
Like, whose man's is this that was like, this is okay? And so that's where I gotta say it's spiritual. Y'all went so far with it.
So far.
That even people that was just like, yo, I just kind of wanted to marry my husband.
You know, it's wild that Gays Against Groomers is called an anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ hate group.
See?
It's like, what? They are gay. What are you talking about?
Mega makes sense. Again, that's because the semantic obfuscation. When they talk about being anti-gay, they don't mean you're against gayness. They mean that you're against the gay narrative. And yes, thank you, Nick. A big thank you to everyone for liking the stream without anybody asking. I mean, I did put the banner up a few times, but either way, thank you so very, very much. And you know what? Since we went an entire month without a new subscriber, if you have subscribed at any point to this channel, dilly to you. I'm hoping, it's a weird time of the year, and it's a weird time in the political cycle. So I'm hoping over the next few months there's going to be some opportunities to get some big bumps in the channel. I know a lot of bigger channels will like take a break. Take a break from just streaming or doing videos. So hopefully, at the beginning of the year, after New Year's, we will pull up some good stuff. No, we ain't got time for the for 3. So at this point, we are just keeping the party raging.
Gay, anti-LGBTQ hate group.
See,
it's like, what? They are gay. What are you talking about?
I was actually thinking, like, maybe I'll just say any $50 like a $50 super chat will get 20 push-ups, and 100 will get 50 outside of any goals, and it will count towards a goal if we have a goal. Up to you guys.
A anti-LGBTQ hate group.
It's
like, what? They are gay. What are you talking about?
The psyop that they've created in people's minds is crazy because, like, for example, my grandma is an old school black churchy conservative woman, right? But she refuses to devote anything outside of Democrats. I call grandma. I'm not grandma.
Semantic obfuscation. It happens on both sides. When you call everything communist, racist, socialist, transphobic, either side, these words lose meanings. You're exactly right.
But she refuses to devote anything outside of Democrats. I call grandma. I'm not grandma. Everything you have ever taught me, literally, it goes against everything that she can't even name why she can. Like, I'll call her. If I call her right now on the phone and ask her why, she's gonna start telling me shut up after a while.
Yeah,
I'm just shut up. I'm just like, but everything that you have ever taught me, from church to hard work to getting up on time, making sure I do everything right, etc. You don't like gay stuff. She don't like abortion. She don't like none of it. So I'm like, why do you continue voting over there? That makes no sense to me. And
because we're black, and that's what we as black people need to do. We as black people do not have the agency to just look out for ourselves and our own family. We have to bear the burden of all the racism and white supremacy that existed in the past, exists in the present, and will continue to exist in perpetuity. That's why we need to vote for people who hate us. What? Yeah, no, I don't think it makes any sense either. Gonzek said, "Damn, 50 straight may kick my ass. I can do 100 throughout the day, but not in one set. Maybe a new goal for me. 50 straight by the end of winter. Well, we can see. I mean, I don't think I've ever tried to do 50 straight, but hey, drop a Benny, and we'll find out.
None of it. So I'm like, why do you continue voting over there? That makes no sense to me. And she's convinced herself, or people have convinced her, TV's convinced her, because from her generation, TV was the truth. Everything on TV was the truth. So whatever you stuck to watching is what's the truth. CNN or whatever. So I'm like, Grandma, you keep giving the same talking points that they're giving that you don't even agree with. Or whatever. I'm like, I understand you may not like Donald Trump or maybe not like those particular politicians, but everything, what most of the values on that side, or libertarian values or whatever, that's what you raised me on. So tell me why you continue voting Democrat. And she can never give an actual reason.
Because the whites,
because she doesn't have a justifiable reason. It's a habit. It's an indoctrination. It's a unwillingness to learn new things. It's a combination of all those things. And I mean, as people get older, that's a little bit more understandable. But yeah, I mean, I would feel like for people like that, the goal should not be to convert them. Again, shout out to Ian Crossland, just going about it in finding that common ground, finding where we agree, and using that as a starting point. You know, going back to the debate I had with Cybercore, aka a Circuit Bard, who was on here, and then Film Buff joined. With Guamtag, and they were saying how you just need you're lying to them, and you're acting like you're accepting them, and doing all this. And it's just like, no, I'm not at all. I'm being myself. I'm being honest. I am. There are ways to say things that are different. That isn't a lie. Like I could say, Morty is sitting in the chair over here, or my 14-year-old dog is posted up right behind me. Both of those things mean the same thing. Essentially, not exactly, obviously, but they both send the same message. But that doesn't mean one is the only way. And if I wanted to convince somebody who didn't believe me that the dog was here and couldn't see, then I would have to go to find a place where we can start, where you're willing to even listen to what I have to say. Because if you've already decided that this is what you believe and it doesn't matter, then that's the end of the conversation. People will dig their heels in, and we have studies, we have psychological studies that have been replicated. I know I talk a shit about psychology in general and how soft the science it is, but we definitely have some legitimate scientific conclusions, and it's been proven over and over and over and over and over again. When people have a strong belief, when they are met with irrefutable facts, I don't know the percentages, but some people are more going to dig their heels into their original position. They see the facts in front of them. And so that happens because it stops being a logical, rational discussion. And now it becomes an emotional thing about how I have to protect my worldview. That if what you're saying is right, then my entire worldview falls. And this is all subconscious. And so that can't be. That just can't be. I don't know why it's not, but that can't be. And so you just, nope, that's not it. That's not it. All right, back in. We'll go for a little bit longer. And again, guys, we're gonna keep the board right.
Tell me why you continue voting Democrat. And she can never give an actual reason.
Because the whites, I'm telling you, that's where I give the leftists that phrase. The phrase being placed in a proper context and on the right people matches. That is white supremacy. If I can convince you that everything that you value and believe in, you're going to do it, you're going to live it, but you're going to vote for the people that's saying and doing the exact opposite. Is, you know, Hollywood, y'all know that's what Merlin, the magician, his wand was made out of Hollywood.
Called my bluff. Called my bluff. Jesus fucking Christ. I did not expect that to happen. All right. There you go, Mort. Let's do this. I'm doing my best. I'll do my best. I don't know what I'm capable of, and I've already done almost 50. But let's see. Let's get a little more. Let's get a little more rock. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Well, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much, sir. I'm scared. Let's do this. I can do 50. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. We're gonna try our best. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Oh, fuck. Guardian. Ah! 40. Ah! Nope. All right, give me 10. I can do 10. We got this. We got this. Let's fucking go! One. Oh, fuck. Oh, nope. Nope, 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 nope. I'll do it before the end of the stream. I'll do it before the end of the stream. Oh. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Oh, the music ended? God damn it. Shout out to All Right. Hey, welcome, welcome. Welcome. I got to 41. Give me give me a minute. I can get 8 more done. I can get 8 more done. We are not getting out of here before I hit that 50. But thank you very, very much to our boy. And of course, the sponsor of the stream. Let's give Morty another one. Let's give Morty another one for $100 goddamn dollars. Thank you, sir, very, very much. My arms will not stay the same. We got to go back. I can't talk. I got to go back to the video. I'll come back to these comments in a minute.
Merlin, the magician, his wand was made out of Hollywood to create illusions. If I can bluff you, I can beat you. And if I can cast a spell that thorough, that elder that's that wise, that has raised.
Clearly, I cannot buff Funkmaster.
Raised this many children, that has done this, that is evaluating, that is that has stayed alive, experience a certain level of racism and vitriol that you and I will never experience, right? If I can convince that person to vote in their own disinterest, that is a certain level of supremacy because I have supreme power over your mind.
Man, even convincing
True.
people, like, again, with the oppression thing, I've explained before. I've said, first of all, I cannot walk around here talking about I'm going through so much. I've had great grandmamas go through civil rights era. I've had granddads be run off by the Ku Klux Klan, etc. Do not sit here and tell me that you're going through so much. We had grandmamas and aunties or whatever from back then that were successful in the face of actual racism, like actually having to get up in the middle of the night because the KKK outside for your granddaddy, or actually dealing with having to not go to the same water fountain, or somebody beating you up for knowing how to read, etc. You mean to tell me you're telling me you got a bed, Wi-Fi, etc., all this stuff every day, and you telling me you going through something? I don't think you're going through. I think it's a slap in the face to my ancestors for me to walk around here talking about I'm oppressed and I can't do something because of the white folks. No, they did as much as they could in the face of true racism, and we walking around here talking about we can't do nothing. So let me
based. I like that. I like that. All right, let's get back to these comments. I needed a minute to collect myself. But we are, yeah. You got fuck, boy. I was not expecting. I threw that out there as a joke, really. I was like, maybe somebody will throw 50. Yeah, I can do another 20. Bluff called. Guantek said the Dunning-Kruger effect isn't just about dumb confidence. The other side is that the smart doubt themselves. Absolutely correct. That is, you're absolutely right. That is not talked about as much. That that imposter syndrome type feeling is there for people who have made it past the stupid mountain and get as they're going down the I mean, you guys know what the fucking graph looks like, but yeah, very, very true. Sarah said even Carl himself realized that his idea wasn't doable. To put it in simple words, his last were, I guess that's not for me. Here we go. Indeed. Oh, it is. And Nick said I do sets of 20 or 25, but that's usually all in a row. I may do 8 to 12 sets in a day, but I can't do that many in a row. There you go. Oh, that's it. You a bitch. No, hey, whatever you can do, and that's what it's about. Just doing what you got to do. Yeah, 8 more. I could do 8 more. I just need a minute. Yeah. Let's go. No sleep. You can sleep when you're dead. I'm just kidding. I am definitely somebody who needs my sleep. I am definitely somebody who needs their sleep. So I will not be offended. But I know I'm just so entertaining. All right, let's dive back in here.
Much as they could in the face of true racism, right. And we walking around here talking about we can't do nothing.
So let me ask you this. Let me give you some pushback.
I was waiting on it.
All right. So do you think because you're so aware of that and their genuine struggle that it could handicap you in a way?
I agree. Yeah. But I want you to explain it.
I do too.
It can handicap you in a way. You are aware of how capable people can be, that you kind of ignore how evil devils can be.
Say more.
You see what I'm saying? Like your thought process is, man, come on, bro. Frederick Douglass had a newspaper, bought himself out of slavery. What are you talking about?
Look at you, Washington.
Right. So I think sometimes because
I think what he's trying to say, and I want to say it before he does, so I can see if I'm right. But I think what he's trying to say is that if you hyper-focus, or not hyper-focus, but if you focus too much on the successes, then which you definitely should focus on. But if you over-focus on it, then you are doing a disservice to the reality. And so there are racial realities or what, I mean, whichever way you want to put it, those environmental factors do exist. And if we try to ignore it, then we'll never be able to solve it. And furthermore, it gives credence to the idea that, say, these people just don't understand the Black experience. And I mean, okay, maybe I don't understand what it's like to be Black, but I can understand the things that you're talking about. Good for you, brother. Good for you. I mean, I already did 45 already, but, you know, do your thing, homie.
Look at you, Washington.
Right. So I think sometimes because you've already lived 3 lifetimes worth of serving communities. I think because you've had that, you become so tunnel visioned on what can be that you don't look at the plot of the other.
Let me explain.
Yeah, I agree, Zippy. If you know too much, you can think too broadly, which can distract you from really comprehending nuance. I think we see that a lot when we do more philosophy stuff, where it's like you know too much to be able to not dumb it down, but to have the like Gormtek was saying before. I don't remember the exact thing, but you know, the mind of the king or the tongue of the peasant or whatever it is. you have to be able to meet people where they are. So if you're some philosophy guru and you're just going off on this, that, and the other, then people aren't going to understand you and people aren't going to listen to you. So people aren't going to get your message. So, oh yeah, let's update the banner here for our boy, Funk Master General 140 on his own. On his own. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm personally. Oh, come on. Why is my mouse not working again? Okay, well, it's not pulling it up. But I'm personally not going to shame anybody into doing the swole stream. But if you guys want to, that's all on you. So I'm still stuck here, but we'll let this play.
So that's where I was when I started when I was 19, okay. 20, 21, 22. I'm 25 now. I'm going on 26.
Wait, for a quick sec, pardon me for cutting you.
Yeah.
I want people to really, really wrap around that. I was doing the goofiest things in the universe at 25. King Randall has a
I'm here. I don't know what happened, but we good. We good. All right. Where were we? Anything that I missed here? Yeah, I'm not going to shame anyone into anything, but you guys definitely can. So let's get those last 8. Right quick. More than you bargained for it. We got it, baby. Woohoo! There you go. Hey man, if 5 is all you could do, then 5 is all you could do. You start with 5 and you do 6 next week. That's how it works. Going to say 5 more for the full 100. I did 50. I did 60 and 40. Yeah, I did 100 today. Holy shit, I did not. I think this may be the very first day I've ever done 100 push-ups in one day.
5.
Insane. Hey,
King Randall has a school that takes in and informs young men. He's 25.
I don't hate anybody.
But this is the recovery of our culture and what is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're 25. You are a man.
Right.
You are supposed to be building and protecting and saving and expanding. And the past couple of generations have been infantilized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like you're saying.
So
Definitely starting with the millennials. Well, nope. This is not going to be popular, but the infantilizing started with Gen X. And I'll tell you why I know that. Because you don't hear boomers complaining about the same shit that Gen X went through. And again, I wholeheartedly believe that millennials are the worst on the planet right now. But we didn't start it.
The past couple of generations have been infantilized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like you're saying.
So
yeah.
Thank you, sir. That's how we do it. Appreciate you guys. This is my life. You helping me.
So mentioning that, so back in the day, Doctor, if you remember a lot of civil rights, even your granddad, uncles, grandma, they were successful at our ages because they had to work. So back in the day, 19, 20, 21, everybody had doctorates.
Right.
Was going.
Yeah, but I mean, inflation's a bitch, though, right?
So that was normal.
Yeah.
So like now when I tell people about opening the school or the work I was doing, I was 19, 20 or whatever like that, everybody's like, oh my God, because it's a new thing. Yeah. So back to your point. So 19, 20, 21, I was just doing the work and I was just like, look, I'm gonna do the work. I don't care what powers that be you're doing. So now I'm 25 and I've worked with kids for about 6 years now. And this is where I opened up for myself. I've probably worked with 200 boys. And I can only point to maybe 2 or 3 kids that truly represent everything that I've taught. The reason I say that is because I started working with kids at too late of an age. I started working with kids at 14, 15, 16, 17. They already gone. I'm sorry. I've worked with kids, parents, who have got mad at me because I can help their son, whatever. I've dealt with a lot of that. But they already gone. And when I say gone, they are out of here. Yeah. So it takes life to punch them in the face. So I've spent so many donations from people on field trips, trying to take them to show them stuff, whatever. They minds are already out of here. Because I used to do this thing where
I wonder, I didn't think of this until just now, but I've seen on TikTok a guy who does stuff like what he's talking about, where he'll have just a bunch of black kids and they'll be talking about like, what to do if you get pulled over. And it's a very like, it's not a preachy thing. It feels a lot more appropriate for a kid who is that age and would want to listen to something like that. I wonder if this is the same guy. I gotta look. I'm sure now that he's on my screen and we've said his name, that TikTok will do its thing. But there's people out there doing the damn thing. Nick said I just did 25 triangle push-ups and I feel my triceps too. Whoo! Whoo! More than me, buddy. More than me.
To force them to get like, no, you're gonna sit down and pay attention. So now I'm at a point like, look, if he doesn't want to be here, what he's doing, he's taking away time from the kids who truly need this teaching. Yeah. One day I realized that was I started taking kids who are younger. I had this 9-year-old kid, fantastic. He loved the program, but he told him, he like, look, Mama, I love it. King Randall's amazing, but them kids are bad. He was like, I cannot deal with it because those are the kids who didn't even want to be there. Yeah. So I started sending them home because the kids who wanted to be there needed it. So now I work with their moms. I see what their moms are going through now. Okay, this is why you can't parent your child, or this is what's happening, or this is what's going on. So now I'm where you are now. Okay, now
environmental factors. Because again, his whole thing is black kids. So if it was some inherent thing about being black, then he wouldn't have that disparity. They would all just be either good or not good. But clearly, it's not inherent to race.
Now I got to get engaged civically now. Okay, now I need to go get on a couple boards in my hometown. I need to go
civically? What does that mean?
Okay, now I got to get engaged civically now. Okay, now I need to go get on a couple boards in my hometown. I need to go to the city commission meeting right now. So as of late, that's all I've been doing is downtown at the school board meeting. I'm on 3 boards now. I've been paying attention to stuff because
Hey man, we all are at our different spots. I am certainly not bulked up. I mean, I can only do that many push-ups because there's nothing here to push up. Yeah, man, it's not about competing with anybody else. It's about competing with yourself. And so if you do half squats, then just do more half squats next week than you did this week. That's what the swole stream is about. Yeah, and then you earn some ice cream or alcohol or whatever you want.
Downtown at the school board meeting, I'm on 3 boards now. I've been paying attention to stuff because
he said civically.
What's happening at these little boards are trickling down to my parents and their kids. Right. So now I'm having to fight on a different route, because of maturity now. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I've been working with kids still, but now they're killing my kids through these boards and through the city commission. And now I need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Lisa's telling me I should bring up drill rap. And whatever that is.
No, drill rap.
Ooh, I did not watch this far. So put a 1 in the chat if you know what if you don't know what drill rap is. I'm very curious. Because even I have a kind of vague understanding of what constitutes as drill rap. Jason Wilson, maybe. No, not a dude with a beard. It was one second. I always forget that. Oh, drill rap. Yeah. So I think because Tim just said whatever that is, that he's going to explain it. So I'm not going to try to butcher it. I do believe it has to do with no, that's the mumble rap. I think drill rap is specifically more about the new version of gangster rap, but I don't really know either. So let's figure it out.
Talk about it.
It's the devil.
What is it?
Let's kill people and then make songs about how we killed your homie and then we smoked a L weed in celebration of your dead homie.
Yep. This is like popular and common.
Yeah, it's dying out now, especially with Dirk facing them charges that he's facing in Cali right now.
What is that?
Little Dirk.
Yeah, like what you just said that. Like that was the thing. Like Dirk, with everything with Dirk. What are you talking about?
Facing them charges that he's facing in Cali right now.
What is that?
Little Dirk is a Chicago.
You ain't do shit.
Drill rapper that was changing his life. I'm gonna say on the surface was changing his life, right? He just got hit with a murder for hire beef. So they
then why do they call it drill rap?
Got him in Miami, held him in Miami Federal Detention Center, shot him over to California to see charges on this alleged charges on. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know none of these folks is whatever, but he calls himself the voice of the streets, right? Drill rap is in essence, reality rap was NWA, Dr. Dre, Cube, and them saying, this is what we're dealing with. Like people the police are beating us up, right? And then when Rodney King happens, everybody's like, oh my God. And then everybody again in the hood was like, yeah, it's Tuesday. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
All right. Let's not act like the LA riots of 92 were just another Tuesday. Come on.
Happens. Yeah.
It just got filmed. So reality rap got marketed and co-opted and turned into so-called gangster rap. Gangster rap became a glorified commodity to sell people a concept to get them to go do things that strengthens the prison industrial complex.
Yep.
There's just one less Lil in rap than there are genders and trans ideology.
Right? So now that more people are becoming more disillusioned with gangster rap and you got a person that could control the world musically by making love songs, now that's dying. Now you get drill rap. We're going to kill you. We're going to confess on record in a song about how we smoked your homie.
How don't they just get arrested?
Sometimes and sometimes not.
Sometimes they just wait to build a case on them. Like, for example, they'll know they're killing people, but they want a big enough case on this person. So like they'll keep, okay, they killed this person, they killed that person, they sold this amount of drugs, they was pushing this many pounds. They'll wait 5 years and they'll get this big, okay, we caught you killing all 5 of those people. We got.
I was on the corner of 5th in Chicago. Then dude walked up and I shot him in the face. I stole a bag of dope. But this is just a song in a video game. One of us, a drill rap is the music version of people filming themselves committing a crime. Sounds like it. Yep. Sounds pretty accurate.
Wait 5 years. And they'll get this big, okay, we caught you killing all 5 of those people. We got all the drugs you sold for the last 20. So that way they can railroad you and get you good.
Or
Rico.
You are under the assumption that the people that are supposed to arrest and stop the killing
want to
or have a vested interest in we devils. We want further death and mayhem.
People need to understand this because a lot of conservatives that say back the blue, cops are great. It's like
if you had to give a percentage of okay, let's break this down. So because I don't know how you guys feel about cops in general. So you might say there's no good cops, and you might say that there's just a few bad apples, whatever. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, let's assume that you in your mind can put cops into 2 different categories, one better than the other. Neither it doesn't have to be good, but relative. If this is the center, then you got some cops over here and some cops over here. That's the spectrum. And so we take just the median and we call the ones better off the good cops and the ones worse off the bad cops. Give me a ratio. 70-30, 60-40, 50-50. What do you think is the ratio of the good cops? So put the good cop number first. Good cops first to bad cops, given that framing? Give me a ratio, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 95-5. What ratio or percentage do you think cops are comparatively good? Right click said the great Rand Paul said the police are a necessary evil. Agreed. Gomsek says this reminds me of the key. I think I saw that one. The rapper admitting the shooting is around. Yep. I'm on Defoe said the cops not arresting me are the good cops. There you go. Excuse me. Gomsek said I think I put Joyner Lucas in modern day reality rap. Too bad he bitches so much about his ADHD and mental health, but it sells, I guess. Yep. Epiphany, there are no bad cops, only bad administrators. Interesting. Okay. So what he's describing isn't unique. The Pride movement is gangster rap for white kids. It has the drugs, single parents, and dysfunctionality of ghetto culture. That's an interesting thought. I'm going to sit on that. That's an interesting thought.
And mayhem.
Give me the ratios, guys. What's your ratios? Good cops to bad cops.
People need to understand this because a lot of conservatives say back the blue, cops are great.
There's only so many options, guys. There's only so many options. Just free ball. Whatever you think. There's no right or wrong answer. Just let me know what you think.
Like small town suburban departments, I find to be pretty fantastic. Awesome. Sheriffs are good. But when you go to New York City and you go to Chicago, you're talking about Democratic Party appointed political officials running these police departments. And so a lot of these regular cops probably don't really know or care, but the Democrats who are appointing these people don't have your best intentions.
They have your worst intentions. I'm going to say it again. Democrats are devils.
Yup. Okay, so Quantek said 65 good cops, 35 bad cops. All right. Defoe says probably about 5 to 10% bad cops, but the DAs are the real fucked up ones. Zippy says 20 to 30% bad cops. Okay, so it seems like you guys are generally in the more or less the same camp, that it's somewhere between 10 and 30% with some variance. But shout out to Rowdy Rupp. Welcome to the party. I'd say it's probably 80-20. I don't really like cops because of reasons, but I've definitely run into more good than bad by far. That's a good way to look at it, because I think I've definitely had more positive experiences, but those positive experiences I think would have been an even better experience if the cop wasn't there. I'm trying to think. I mean, other than the accident, I just had to just report it. Like they didn't actually do anything for me. I don't really feel like the cops are. I mean, again, necessary evil, but in a day-to-day thing. So interesting. Carl said 5% bad. Okay, we got to back the blue here. So he said admins are the problem. They are setting rules. If the cop is following the rules, then he cannot be a bad cop. Not true, sir. That's what the Nuremberg people said. Just doing my job. Incorrect. You are incorrect. Their job is not to follow the laws of their superior. Their job is to uphold the Constitution. You are incorrect. Gontek said Tom MacDonald is white people reality rap. Unfortunately for the agenda, he's resonating with everyone at this point except the wokies. Yeah, I guess. That sounds. I don't know. I don't. All right, fair enough. Funkmaster said, once I was in Virginia with a truck full of something I shouldn't have had. We broke down. Cop helped us get off the highway. He was a good cop that was bad at being a cop. Bingo. And I think that's just so common. I think that like the positive experiences are not like because they're trying to help, but it's in their interest to not, have more paperwork or whatever. And so in the same way that people will say like, oh, Trump's so bad, and then his ego. Come on. I need my face to be perfectly visible. What is happening? Yeah, and people will say that Trump has an ego and only cares about himself, but like, kind of, yes, I agree. But in caring about himself, he wants America to do well. So, kind of the same thing, right? Right Click said, fuck that. 85% bad these days. I was expecting to see a lot higher numbers. Because even though, you know, the right is typically more in line with the with law enforcement, you know, law and order, I expected to see more numbers this high. The problem is that the standard of, you know, they like they say, if there were any good cops, there would be no bad cops. Now, I think that's a little too simplistic, but there is a point there. There's a point. So, and again, I don't have enough. I would probably say 70-30, just to throw a number out there. But or no, I would say 30-70. 30 good, 70 bad. And again, this comes from I might have not said such a high number recently, but after watching 60 Days In, again, I definitely suggest that you guys check out 60 Days In. It's not just a random documentary about prisons. It's like a whole thing where they get volunteers that are working with the warden. They go in, they're infiltrating, they're trying to get, they have missions that they got to, it's intense. And you see a lot of law enforcement go on the show. And you see that they're only there for 60 days. And within that 60 days, they will talk about going full inmate. Now, if that's the case, then why would I expect that over 6 years of being a cop, that you wouldn't go full cop? I don't know. Guantag said that Swell Aura is fucking up the tech. Fletch doesn't realize it, but he just went Super Saiyan. All right. Carl said, probably depends on where you live. Here, if you have a gun, no one cares. A lot of places, cops never see guns, so they freak out when they encounter one. Yep, definitely happens here. Sam Marie said, any person willing to come to the state of great power is, at some extent, a narcissist. Agreed. To some extent. I mean, a narcissist is a diagnosis, so let's say has narcissistic tendencies, but agreed. Guamtag said, Cleveland cops are the worst Ohio has. I can imagine New York is that times 10. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's keep this raging.
Have your best intentions.
They have your worst intentions. I'm going to say it again. Democrats are devils. I'm sorry if that sounds offensive. And if you're offended by that, if you hear this,
just go do some research.
And just don't be look at what I'm saying. Look at the policies, look at the outcome, and tell me how I can so comfortably say that.
Well, let's take a look at, we're talking about drill rap. We'll take a look at the entertainment industry in general, which is crazy to me because there were a lot of songs that I remember when I was a kid from like 80s rap, like you were mentioning. It's like telling people what's going on. Some of them were very political in the sense where, well, I don't completely agree with some of the messages from a lot, like Public Enemy had some good stuff. They're basically saying
straight from the underground,
fixing these things. And then it turned into doing shots, doing drugs, make money. Who cares? It like totally degraded into vapid, just like, I guess, lewd and lascivious behaviors.
But it wasn't. But again, that's under the impression that it was just the culture going that way because of the culture.
That's what I'm saying.
But it wasn't. It was
Hollywood.
It was Hollywood. It was corporate interests. It was. And again, I want to say this in a way where it's not.
Spit it out.
There's a great book called the subtitle is How the Jews Invented Hollywood. And I promise y'all, I'm not going to go on this. It's the Jews tirade. Like that's not. Like,
all right, Kanye.
But my thought process is when there's corporate interests that say we have other corporate interests, we could use this power. That's the beautiful thing about the Matrix and Devils. This thing that you've used as a tool of liberation, we will co-opt it, finance people that we will give cover for, and then we will influence your students because our money is yeah, we'll spend 10 million over here because we built 8 prisons.
You rambling, bro. What? Who's the we? Are you talking about? Are we still talking about the drill rap? Or are you talking about media in general? You're not finishing your thoughts. You're jumping from thought to thought to thought without finishing them. You know what you're saying, but we don't.
Our money is, yeah, we'll spend 10 million over here because we built 8 prisons.
Let me give you a really simple example. One of my favorite memes. Remember the Dove Real Beauty campaign? This Dove soap launched their Real Beauty campaign where they said, we're going to use, real women, basically meant fat women.
Yeah.
And so Dove soap is gets these plus size models and they're like, this is what real women look like. You know what company owns Dove?
No.
Fuck. This guy's Unilever, and they have they make ice cream and all this type of food. I knew it.
And they're like, this is what real women look like. You know what company owns Dove?
No.
Unilever.
Unilever
owns Dove, and Unilever's got another company in their portfolio. And you know what that one is?
What?
Ben & Jerry's.
See?
So it's not that like I can literally draw the line saying some executive was like, but the argument was Unilever's looking at their bottom line and being like, hey, we're seeing sales decline over here at Ben & Jerry's. Why aren't people buying ice cream? And they're like, well, people are concerned about being fat. What? Tell them it's fine to be fat. Yep. They go look at their other company and say, have this company tell everybody it's fine to be fat, so they'll buy more of our ice cream.
Haram.
But yeah, trust the science.
So now we got fat shaming. Shaming was used as a tool back in the day.
Right.
Back in the day, you were shamed to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Now shaming is wrong. And I'm like, shaming was never wrong.
Bring back shame.
Shaming was correct.
Shaming is why Lizzo's.
You know what I just realized?
How dare you?
That's shaming.
How dare you?
Are you climate shaming me?
Is wrong. And I'm like, shaming was never wrong.
Bring back shame.
Shaming was correct.
Shaming is why Lizzo's not fat now.
Literally,
Actually, I have not. I just saw something with someone talking about Lizzo, and I saw one picture. Okay, maybe it was just the angle. I mean, you know how damn angles be, but okay, yeah. So we from the picture that I saw, it looked like it was something like here we go. It was something like this, where it looked like she was like little, like Ozempic little, but all these before and afters are not. I mean, they're good, like good for her, but
Bring back shame.
Shaming was correct.
Shaming is why Lizzo's not fat now.
Literally, what do you want to believe? Shaming is why I got good grades because my
you're a virgin. Interesting.
grandma didn't play me having a B in school. I had to have all A's. So when I got a B, I got shamed.
Yeah.
When I got shamed, I'm like, I don't want to be shamed. I don't want to be looked at that way. So I'm going to go do better because I want to do the right thing. For example, like going back to the drill rap thing, we do
I'm happy to start the after party.
this thing where I think because we get so infatuated with the rappers or something, we don't care what they do wrong. We do not.
Yeah. Got him. All right, let's just finish this line of thinking, and then we'll head to the after party.
Not care. We don't. King Von, serial killer.
Yeah.
On his blog, whatever, whoever's listening to him, whatever. We love King Von. Well, King Von is responsible for making sure some black people were dead in the community. Multiple people, by the way. And he talked about it in his songs. We don't care. We love King Von. Even still listening to music from like some of these rappers right now that are dying because of the music. They are rapping. So now I go back.
True. Right click said funny how easy it is to avoid trashy culture. Like I have no problems bringing up my Twitter and where are we? And just scrolling through. I have no worries that there's going to be porn on my thing because that just, of course, now is it's about to fucking load and like, oh, goodness. But like, I'm not worried about that because that's not the type of stuff that shows up on my timeline. Like, if it shows up on your timeline, that's a little something about you. I didn't even know porn was that prolific on Twitter until everybody else was like, oh my God, they're showing everybody porn. Nope, none of that.
some of these rappers right now that are dying because of the music. They are rapping. Now, so now I go back to reality with it because they actually killing each other.
Yeah.
They out here pissing on each other graves and
Literally.
then somebody else going to shoot him. And the kids are hip to it. They telling me about it. And like we in Bible study or whatever, we just have regular talk afterward. They talking about how, oh, this rapper went and got killed the other day because he went and peed on his mama grave.
I'm just gonna let this go.
Even this, like, no, this is real stuff.
Actually happened.
It's real life, and the kids are the switches and all that. You ain't seen no
right? How did you miss that?
Advertising for no switches on Instagram. You haven't seen no Facebook. Well, you know who advertising switches? The rappers. I ain't never heard of no switch till I heard it in the song. Like straight up. Like, and I like guns. Me and Maj do the gun thing. I hadn't really paid attention to no switch stuff till the kids told me about it.
What does that mean? I thought switch was just a slang term for gun. Just a specific type of gun.
So I'm like, what's this switch thing y'all talking about?
Now, real quick, shout out to Lizzo.
She's losing weight. She's losing weight. She look good.
Okay, let's see. There you go. There you go. So you didn't. Okay, I was gonna say you didn't watch this one, but it only came out today. So fair enough. But I mean, good for her. I mean, she got a long way to go. She got a long, of course. She got a long way to go. But good for her. Good for her. Yeah. Right. Well, we'll let you do that. Oh, is that what that means? Full auto for switch means full auto. Cool. Thank you, sir.
Which thing y'all talking about?
Now, real quick, shout out to Lizzo.
She's losing weight. She's losing weight. She look good. Now here's the question. Here's the question that we
twice in one day.
Come back to this question after we get to the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that just randomly, with us existing,
see exactly
in the world, a timeline where random pallets of bricks show up when we think it's gonna be a beef, nobody knows how they got there, right? Do we think that drill rap is just, oh, we just want to say this?
Nope. Elon, the Twitter files expose every industry, in my opinion, because it explained what everybody's doing. Even though it may not have been the companies I just feel like and know that that's what everybody's doing. And I don't think nobody ever actually truly looked at those files. They basically said, we are controlling the minds of everyone. This is how we're going to do it. So I need you to take this person down. I need you to elevate this post. Even the George Floyd protest, all that, it was done through Facebook, Instagram, and it was in the files. They did it on purpose. Like,
and Tim talks all the time about how they will do, Facebook specifically would do experiments about, tweaking the algorithm to see if they can make people, more depressed or more happy or more this or more of that. And I was specifically, I was on TikTok today, and I just happened to get a bunch of like darker, not necessarily darker themed things, but things that were more emotionally, what's the word for that which resonates? But anyway, it resonated emotionally with me. So there was a story about some dude who had issues with his family and then went to, himself. There was a dude that, bro, I fucking sobbed. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I fucking sobbed. There's a dude in his car, and he's got a black dog in the passenger seat. And he's like, well, what the fuck do I do? What do you do when you're told that your best friend has, I think it was like a week to a month to live or something like that? And, as you guys know, that Morty did get essentially a death sentence of 6 to 12 months from, what is that, 2-3 months ago already. So, I mean, he's on the clock. I think, I mean, call it dogma, call it faith, call it whatever you want, but I believe that he is going to make it past that. How much further? I don't know. But, that's life, right? And we've got to be able to address things as they are. Whether we're talking about, Morty, or we're talking about racial issues in America, or we're talking about anything else in politics or anything else. We have to be able to understand what it is that we're discussing comprehensively especially if we're talking about problems and solutions. We have to completely understand the problem before the best solution can be had. And more importantly, a somewhat reasonable or seemingly reasonable solution to something can be agreed upon when there's way better that can be offered, because people are just looking to either get the job done, or, like I said, you don't fully understand. So it's just like, oh, well, this is bad, so let's do that so that's good. But really, this creates a worse problem than you had in the first place. So understanding what it is that you're dealing with. And again, this comes back to the Saw movie and how I kept myself away from heroin as a drug addict. And I stuck with the pills, and I didn't graduate to heroin like everyone else I did drugs with. By understanding what the fuck I was dealing with. Now, I'm not going to lie and say I was on top of it the whole time, but I'll take being a pillhead that never became a heroin addict as a win, especially because I am here now. So, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's not. None of this is easy or simple, and that's why we need to constantly be on it, because there's a million different things, and they're all happening at the same time. But you can only have one conversation at a time, and it makes things difficult. So we just gotta do what we can do, just like the swole stream, guys. It's not about beating each other. It's about being the best that we can be. So that's what you want, then you are in the right place. Gontek said, Lizzo's losing weight just like Miley Cyrus going slutty. It's a publicity stunt fueled by Ozempic and drugs. So what people least expect and gain views. So do what people least expect and gain views. I mean, I don't disagree, but I also think that there's a difference between, again, this is the same thing about the ego and selfishness of Trump. That, like, if Lizzo is trying to be selfish and elevate herself and also being healthier, then cool. But if Miley Cyrus is doing the same thing through you know, more illicit means, then even though it's the same concept, the utility, the practicality of it is definitely not the same. Sam Marie said their birthdays are coming up. Who other than me knew there were actually more than one? What are you talking about? Gontek said, Jesus, I think I have workout brains now. I'm screwing up all kinds of words, even worse than usual. Is that a thing? I thought it was supposed to make you fire on all cylinders. Gontek said, Right Click said, totally agree, but also beating Gontek. Yeah, exactly. Let the hate flow through you. Wonderful. So as long as Lizzo doesn't go bulimic or exactly. All right, guys. I don't know about you, but I am ready for an after party. Let's do it, guys. Thank you, everyone, so very, very much. I mean, you guys always come through. It's really amazing, because again, I literally got zero new subscribers over the last 28 days. Zero. But I'm kind of not really hurting as much because of all this. And we know that it's not going to be easy pickings. It's not going to be an easy road. And sometimes they're going to be a little bit rougher than others. But having you guys here to support me is amazing. It's the only reason I can still do this. So let's give a big first let's give a big shout out to let's do this. Let's give a big shout out to Zippy DSM Lee with all the Rumble rants. We got the 1, 2, 2, and a 10 right at the bottom. Thank you so much. But of course, we always come back to our guy, my man, a pillar of the Indian Jesus community, Funk Master General, the highest sponsorship we have ever had Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. I cannot tell you how much it means to me to start having this workout type of thing. It's the kickstart that is always the hardest part, and you guys allowing me to do this. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, guys, this is my little overlord and co-host Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you would like to see the full podcast that we covered, the link is, of course, in the description. But until now, or for now, we are headed over to the after party. So if you've not signed up as a member, if you've not joined the Discord, do that now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Once again, this is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.